back to the Mr. Arsenal podcast on another match day watch along. We are live, and actually we are 26 minutes away from kickoff for the second US Tour pre-season friendly match set up by the Conquest and the gang. This time we're not playing at the MLS All-Stars with Donna them amateur bastards. We're now focusing on the next amateur bastards of Manchester United FC. Fantastic. I have got people lined up as well, so I will not be on my own tonight. We've got Colin joining us very, very soon. Liam's going to be joining us as well, just after 10, just after the kickoff, basically. And yeah, all you guys in the chat as well join. Obviously, keeping things going as well. But yeah, I'm actually excited. I'm loving the lineup, by the way. Well, one player, but we'll get into that in a minute when Colin arrives. I just can't wait. I'll wait for kickoff, isn't it? I know it's pre-season, it's Man United and all that, but just to shut the bastards up and put them in their place for a few weeks before you blame them again in the league. And it's no, I've seen the United lineup as well. Oh no, it isn't even in the squad, so it's brilliant. They've got Tom Eaton in goal and a backup some goalkeeper from the academy I've never even heard of. And as I say, we've gone full strength. They've gone somewhat okayish lineup, if you will. It's not their full strength, put it that way. And even on the benches, there's a few big hitters, but nothing major. I think it'll be fine. But yes. Let's go to this. Let's put the team up on the screen for you guys to see. Let's put myself here. And as you can see, no messing about today. As I said, going full strength. Aaron Ramsdale in goal. Timber. Saliba, Gabriel, Tomiyasu at left back. Declan Rice making his first start for the Arsenal in that kit. Not in the red and white, obviously, but that's coming soon, don't worry. Kai Havertz looks to be his midfield partner in that situation. And then just in front of them two, it'll be Odegaard, and then you've got Saka, Martinelli down on the wings, and yeah, Eddie Nketiah. What do I say about Eddie Nketiah? What can I say? How's he starting ahead of Jesus and Balogun? I don't know, because again, we've covered both pre-season games up to this point in terms of the Nuremberg game, the MLS All-Stars game. He's non-existent, yet he's somehow starting, and it's doing my head in. Genuinely doing my head in. Talking of which, here's Colin. He's going to do what Man United fans' heads in.
What's up, bro?
Oh, good. I'm just going for the. But yeah, how are you doing? Yeah.
I'm all right, mate. I'm all right. We're going good, isn't it?
Yeah, as I say, we've gone full strength. Gone full strength, and especially United.
I mean, I wouldn't take too much stock of that. Like, I hate this argument where like you're looking at the team sheets and like saying, oh, we should be doing this because of this, and like I've seen Man United's 11, right, and like six of their starters at best are playing. Like they're not gonna put out that starting 11 on the first game of the season. They're just not.
Of course not.
So they're just not gonna do that. Like out of all of them, like okay, Martinez, Varane, Mount, Bruno, Shaw, Anthony. Because I don't think Sancho starts for them. I don't think Wan-Bissaka starts for them. I don't think Heaton starts for them over Onana. So again, that's what 6 starters in the first 11 for them. Like, again, it's pre-season, and you wouldn't expect Tomiyasu to start at left back for us ahead of Zinchenko, would you?
No, again. I don't know what is Zinchenko? Is he preparing for his charity match or something? I don't know if he's injured or not.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's fine. It's fine. It's not like it's like first game of the season, and and he's injured or
Yeah,
something like that.
yeah,
I don't know.
exactly.
Either way,
Yeah.
it's fine. Rice is starting, which I'm all for. Like, I mean, I'm stunned at the fact that we've got him, but on the other hand, we have got him.
It took our time, though.
So, I mean, it did, but these signings do take like their time. And again, I hate this perception that we have to do this, we have to do this, or we have to do that, or it's a failure. Like, would I like to see us win a trophy this season? Obviously, I would. But look, if we hung in there and challenged for the league again, which I think we will, and we won an FA Cup, or like if we won the FA Cup and got to like quarterfinals of the Champions League, which I do think is doable, then I would still call that a success, because one, we've won a trophy. Okay, ultimately you want the league, but you have to be in a title race to win the league in the first place. So again, the goal for a title race would be ultimately to win it. I mean, whether we do or not is a different story. But again, it's more or less just being in that conversation. Like, because regardless of whether City are getting rid of all these players and whatnot, right? I hate this, like, City are like losing that strength that they've got. They're not. They're just getting rid of players that they deem don't have any value to them anymore. Every club does it. It's just when it's City, it's more amplified. I don't get it. Like, it's just, all right, you're losing Gundogan, you're losing Bernardo Silva, Mahrez, and all this shit. Fine, but again, let's not act like City are not going to go out there and spend money again, because they will. Like, and I've heard this. This might make you laugh. This theory, right, that they're doing this because of the accusations. Whether or not those accusations are true or not, at this point, it's hearsay. Like, again, nothing's been proven, bro. Nothing. So until something has been proven by the official investigation, and why do other fans care so much? Like, what? I don't care. Like, if City get found out, great, whatever. Like, but again, it's not like it's going to make my life any better or worse, is it?
No, there's no point stressing over it or worrying about it until we know. Look, I've said it before about the Premier League. They take their sweet ass time. I mean, there's an Everton situation ongoing for like 2 years now. So we're not going to hear anything about Man City until I'm seen.
Yeah.
There's a bit of an echo, by the way. That's mine or yours?
Don't know. I can't hear it on my end.
Oh dear.
Hold on.
But Kai Havertz, let's talk about Kai Havertz. Obviously, he scored his goal after all the criticism, after getting criticised by Wizzy and all that. On the skills challenge thing, literally 24 hours later, scores on the volley of all things. What have you made of the actual signing itself, and obviously him since he's played the couple of games he has played so far?
I mean, was it a signing that I wanted? I mean, it wasn't at the top of my list, but as I've said multiple times, like, and I think I've even said this to you as well. If Arteta wants him, I want him. It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
Like, it's not. I don't think it's hard to grasp or a difficult concept to get a hold of. Like, I really don't. But as far as what I've made of him, look, we know. I mean, he has qualities, right? He wouldn't be a footballer if he didn't. And I think people are just judging it based off his time at Chelsea, not taking into account that we play a completely different way to Chelsea. Like,
I said this as well at the time.
because
Literally,
Havertz was brought in, right, when Lampard was in charge, right? And as we've seen, Lampard doesn't have a Scooby of how to manage a team. Like, that's been proven now. There's hard evidence for that, right? He played under Tuchel, who, again, not an attack-minded manager. He's just not. So a player like Kai Havertz, who's more or less used to an attacking style, I mean, it just wasn't going to work. And ever since then, Chelsea have been. If there was one manager where it was going to work, where it was going to work, it would have been Graham Potter. But again, Graham Potter got thrown to the wolves by the Chelsea board. Simple as that. And then they bring in Lampard again. Yeah, like that was going to work. Okay.
Well, James Corden knows best, though. It's not this James Corden now, the West Ham fan.
Mate, I swear, like, Havertz, I think, will surprise people. I really do.
I think Havertz,
I think Havertz will surprise a lot of people, and then everybody will shut their mouths. But again, it goes back to what we all know. Arsenal gets overhated by everybody, rivals, media, everyone. The best thing for that, in my opinion, is to ignore everybody, because who cares? Who cares what rivals think? Who cares what the media thinks? Like, I'm pretty sure Man United fans don't give a fuck that I think Mason Mount isn't all that. And you know what? They shouldn't. They shouldn't give a fuck. Just like I don't care that, that rivals don't think Kai Havertz will do well. And funnily enough, these same people all raved about Declan Rice when he was at West Ham. Now he's at Arsenal. Oh, he gets the shit now. He gets
I was chosen Arsenal over everyone else. That's it.
No, mate. I've seen a clip on social media, from. All right, maybe this is a rule of thumb. Don't talk to any Man United fans on the socials because they have no brains. But one of them said that Declan Rice isn't even in the top 5 DMs in the league. Bro, what the fuck? And then he goes on to list Bruno Fernandes. I'm sorry, what? Like, Bruno Fernandes, you're telling me Bruno Fernandes is a DM? Yeah, right. Okay.
Yeah. Bruno Fernandes. Yeah.
Here's the Ryan. It's jealousy. That's all it is. And you know what? The tears last week made my fucking day. I kid you not, bro. I was dying of laughter all weekend. And you know what? It just goes to show people hate the fact that we're back, and no one wants to hear it. We are back, bro, for the foreseeable future. Get used to it, because when we do win a major trophy, believe me, we're going to be unbearable, because we're going to rub it in everybody's face.
It's not good. It's not it's twisted, right? FPL, obviously, there's another comment before about penalties. I haven't heard anything about penalties being played out no matter what. End of this game, I haven't heard that. Obviously, if I hear anything, I'll let you guys know. But in terms of this one, last week you said Partey. Yeah, Partey was, for the majority of the season, the best CDM in the fucking league. And now we've gone and got Rice alongside Casemiro and Rice. Yes, he was up there. Rightly so for the majority of the season. Casemiro got sent off too many fucking times and went missing when he needed most. And Rice was at West Ham and he was doing a fantastic job. But Partey was the best CDM, and now we've got Partey and Rice. So,
and by the way, never once did I slam the quality of Bruno Fernandes, right? But to list Bruno Fernandes as a DM is fucking stupid, right? It just is.
Considering
now, I'm not saying Man United don't have a good player. Obviously, do.
So I'm just saying that considering he played in a midfield that got battered by Liverpool 7-0.
Yeah,
So
I'm not saying Man United don't have good players. I've never once said that. Obviously they do, right? But here's the problem. The minute Declan Rice goes to Arsenal, you start seeing this agenda of, oh, he's not all that. Bollocks. Bollocks. Man City wanted him. I'm sure Man United wanted him. Chelsea have wanted him for years.
Yep.
So he must have something. If all those clubs want him, hell, even Bayern wanted him. Bayern Munich. You're telling me Bayern don't know what they're doing? Like, come on now.
Exactly. Bayern Munich, who, by the way, want Harry Kane. Harry Kane, the best striker
Exactly.
in the league.
But I'm not saying anything about the individual players at Manchester United. All I'm saying is the agenda around Rice joining Arsenal is bullshit. That's it. Like, it's got nothing to do with the quality of Man United. All I'm saying is the hypocrisy around Rice going to Arsenal, especially from rivals, is bullshit. When every single one of them, I'm sure, has listed Declan Rice in their transfer wish lists at some stage.
I've actually seen United channels, not in big United channels, like one of my sort of size, even say name Declan Rice in their transfer hit list for this summer before the season even ended. So what? But suddenly, as you say, suddenly Arsenal buy him. Yeah, it's okay. He's crap anyway. It's bog standard. Oh yeah, okay, cool. I agree that the money was a bit over the top, but it's the English tax. He's an international, played 50 odd caps for his country. He's a senior pro, 6 or 7 seasons at West Ham. You've got to pay the big bucks. You want the big players, you've got to pay the big bucks. And we've got to a point now where we are back to where we once were in terms of being competitive. We just need the extra players like Rice to get us over that line now.
Yep. In fact,
Sean, you guys not seen Rodri. Rodri was fantastic. Don't get me wrong, Rodri was good.
Yeah, Rodri was awesome.
Week in, week out, everyone noticed Partey more. Apart from the last few weeks of the season where he went off his form and all that, the last few weeks.
He did,
yeah.
And by the way, we're not denying that Partey went off the boil, by the way. We've said it on streams. So, you know,
said it in the moment.
It is what it is. The fact is, look, I'm not disputing the other DMs in the league that have quality. I'm not disputing that Rodri's class. Like Casemiro, look, when it happened, I questioned it purely because of his age. And so did a lot of people, by the way. So don't try.
On the night it happened, we both live. We both
don't even try that. And the reason I questioned it, right? One was because of his age, and two, the amount of wages he was on, which, by the way, were valid criticisms at the time. However, Casemiro has come into Manchester United and he's hit the ground running, right? So again, he's proven people wrong. That's the thing. I'm not like against being proven wrong, by the way. That's like I thought Casemiro wouldn't do anything at United because of his age and because of the wages, right? Same reason why I thought Thiago Silva would be like kind of a win.
Exactly.
He wasn't. Right? So again, we can all be wrong on things. But to say Declan Rice is not amongst the top DMs of the league is wrong. Simple as that. Now, look, on the next few years, because I've heard this several times, and it's not a bad theory, by the way. Maybe Kudus is the last signing we make this summer, right?
Yeah.
And then we only make one major one next summer, right? But the major one's a big one. And maybe it's Osimhen from Napoli. Because maybe Osimhen stays at Napoli this season and then we go in and get him next summer.
Possibly, yeah. Well, I won't be against it either.
No.
Raise yourself, everyone. Here comes that Leeds fan.
Dom. Hey.
With Arsenal that big, even these fans want to come on our channel.
Hey, look, I've got no issue with Leeds. I've got no issue with Leeds. I like Leeds.
Yeah, exactly.
You're the only one then. In all fairness, right? I thought I'd pay tribute to the Ugly Kit Society because oh man. How is everyone?
Oh, we're good. We're good.
Oh, brilliant! Was just putting out the fishing nets in the chat for the anti-Arsenal fans at Declan.
I got a feeling I might have set them off, Ryan. That's my fault.
We're just speaking facts as it is.
Well, I was speaking my opinion. I don't know about facts, but okay.
Well, it's true. Literally, what you said about in terms of the second we signed Declan, everyone's like, "Oh, he's crap. He's nothing." Da 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 da. It's true. Everyone have seen it. I constantly see it every day, even from not all West Ham fans, some West Ham fans going, "Oh, he ain't got the ambition. He's gone to Arsenal." Sorry, what?
The fact that they have the balls to sit there and go, "Nice, he was an average player for us, bro. He won you a European trophy." Like, let's be real about it. Come on, like he's probably one of your greatest exports out of your academy ever. Like, come on, it's just stuff like that kind of winds me up. But like the West Ham stuff doesn't really wind me up so much because it was like with Villa, right? It was almost they're trying to force a rivalry with us for some reason, and I don't know why. Because I'm just like, the only connection you have to us is the fact that you're a London club. That's it. You're not our rivals. You never will be. Like, nah. Just stop trying to force this bollocks, man. Like, come on. With it.
Oh, BX is in the chat. He says Douglas Luiz played 37 out of 38 league games for Villa last season. Not a bad link. Apparently, been linked to him again.
Wow.
Oh, again? That's BX. No, that's BX. I'm telling you right now. He pimps players out. He pimps players out to Arsenal all the time, and he does it as if like it's fact, right? He'll be like, He'll see a YouTube. I love BX. He'll see a YouTube clip of like Thiago Almada and be like, "Oh, Arsenal should get him."
Yeah,
comes into my
beautiful.
Chat. It's happening.
Hey, exactly. You know what though? I respect that, right? Because his PR game is next level, right?
It's really good.
I respect the grind, mate. Believe me, I do. Like, because we all have that player, right? That we all wanted our club to sign at some point, right?
Yes.
Like, because all right, this was years ago, right? But when Hernan Crespo was at Inter Milan, right before he went to Chelsea, he's the one player I wanted Arsenal to sign because I don't think that needs explaining why. Like, he was phenomenal, but the point is we all have that player who's like we all want. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. On one hand, what Colin's saying is 100% accurate. On the other hand, I'm just wondering if BX Gunner is Douglas Luiz's agent.
Imagine after all this time.
He's playing the long game. He's been telling us, "Oh, I've got 2 jobs. I've been roofing in 400-degree weather and all this." And then it turns out he's just getting 5% off the top of Doug Luiz's salary. And he knows that Arsenal can pay a larger salary. So he's just like,
playing the long game, yeah.
Trying to get in. Yeah. I'm convinced of it. I've convinced myself of something that is obviously not true, could be maybe 1% true.
Well, the thing is, he's not denying it in the chat. He's having a good old laugh in the chat, but he's not denying it.
Yeah, it's that kind of laugh, like, I hope you kind of forget what you're saying.
Yeah, basically.
But yeah. Hello, Russ Emerson. What's hello?
All the regulars are popping in now. That's cool. Oh dear. How's your day been anyway? How was the stream earlier at the end?
So, for the benefit of anyone watching, it went perfectly fine. Gary's still got a YouTube channel, so unbridled success in my mind anyway. Because I do sometimes sit there and think, what are the chances I will actually get him banned from YouTube? I'll put it this way: I wouldn't give me the password to a StreamYard account.
And you have a channel, which is a weird thing.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
But he's like, "Oh, I'm not going to be there. You can have a show." I'm like, "All right, if you want to take that risk, it's probably cheaper than going to Vegas." So.
I think it's more concerning that he'll trust you over another Arsenal fan in Sam to host it. Sam's just a guest, basically. You're the backup. If you're not there, then Sam gets the opportunity.
I think Sam's quite happy to dry his hands of it. Like, I don't want to worry about pressing the buttons and stuff like that. It's handy for me because I just sit here like pressing buttons on the chat, like, "Oh, that's been said," while Sam's going rah Arsenal, rah. I'm like, yeah, totally. Here's what someone said in the chat. Works fine. Have you seen the photo of Gary with Ray Parlour and Lauren?
Yeah, I just put it up on the screen now. 1 sec. Bear with me. But yeah, Gary, he's at the game tonight with Ray as well from the Arsenal fan circle. And this is what he posted just over an hour, just an hour ago, basically. Teams are still not out on my screen yet. 10 o'clock kickoff, we're told, and they're not out on the thing. Right, we'll do it this way. And then we go to...
I can tell you what the evening standard for your team would be tonight.
Please tell us.
Yeah, obviously I have no idea how accurate it is or anything like that. But right.
That's awesome. That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
There's one of Ray with the trophy, if I remember. It's the golden trophy, isn't it?
1 second. Bear with me. I'll just switch over to that one. There we go.
The
golden trophy. And Gary's been buying stuff. Look, he's got a bag, a little Arsenal bag there, so he's carrying. He's bought something. I wonder if it's that away shirt.
I suspect it is. That's popular. That away shirt is very popular considering it's awful.
Yeah.
And I could say your shirt is awful because I will happily buy a football shirt that I consider awful. So
I'm going into work. Yeah, you're going into work, yeah? Into work.
Yeah. He's going to get on the phone on behalf of Douglas Luiz, clearly. Oh, sorry, Colin. But as you disappeared, I did speculate that he might be Douglas Luiz's agent.
Maybe. Wouldn't surprise me.
I bet even his Douglas Luiz's parents wouldn't talk him up to the level that BX is talking him up.
Do you know what though? There was a point in time where where it looked like it could genuinely happen, because I mean, what was it? He wasn't getting games when Gerrard was manager, and then Unai Emery comes in, and he's part of the first team. So it just a change of manager can kind of swing things on whether or not a player is going to leave or not. Because I think the World Cup would have probably had a hand in the motivation in wanting to leave.
Yeah.
Because he would have wanted a regular game time. But I'm not entirely certain he would have got that at Arsenal had he moved. Because Partey was going to start in midfield every week, barring an injury last season, regardless. So it wouldn't have affected Thomas Partey. Odegaard was going to start because you can't leave Odegaard out.
Mm.
And out of all of them, prior to the season starting, Xhaka was really the only one that was the question mark. But again, with Xhaka's form, was Douglas Luiz going to get in ahead of him? I mean, at the time, we don't know. We don't know. It could have swung the other way, and Xhaka could have done what Xhaka usually does, but it didn't go that way. So, again, it swings and roundabouts. You know what I mean? Managers can swing whether or not a player's going to leave or not. Like, we've seen that. We've seen that at like loads of different clubs. I'm sure that's happened to Leeds at some point as well. Like,
Oh, yeah, of course it has. Of course it has.
yeah,
With much worse players, but yeah, of course it has.
yeah, yeah.
I,
Actually, you know what? I was going to ask you this, Tom. How are you feeling about Leeds this season? Like, where do you think you're going to go?
it's really hard to say because I don't know what the team's going to be because we've not. Well, it because of the World Cup. Obviously, the season finished like 3-4 weeks after it usually would, and then the takeover didn't officially happen for like another month. Well, our takeover happened 6 days ago,
Right.
or 5 days ago. So we're basically 2 months behind every other team, and
Yeah.
obviously that's our fault. That's no one else's fault. But
No.
it's a case of it's hard to build a team when you don't know who's leaving and who's not leaving, and
Yeah.
our new owners don't talk. They don't reveal anything. It's literally a case of we now own the club. We bought Ethan Ampadu, and they've kept their mouth shut.
Wow.
There's no bluster. Like, yeah, they did the usual rubbish, like saying all the right things in like a press conference type thing or whatever it is. But generally speaking, like last season, our chairman said, exact words were, "It will be impossible that we get relegated."
Wow.
Yeah. And the second he said that, I thought,
We're going
if
down.
I wasn't the sort of person that never bets against my own team, I would have gone straight down the bookie and had 10 quid on Leeds to get relegated.
Yeah, you don't tempt fate like that. You don't. Like,
as soon as he said it, I was like, "What the fuck are you doing?" I even said it at the time. Like,
I don't
saying that I'm a genius with hindsight.
Bro, I don't blame you. Like, if my owner said that, I would have gone absolute, like, I would have gone AWOL if my owner said that. Legit. Like, you don't tempt fate like that. No.
Teams are out, by the way, on my screen, getting their team photos, respectively.
Don't get me wrong, right? He sold our 2 best players. You had to sell them because of the money we were getting and they wanted to go. So it's not like I'm not sitting here going like, I'm not going to say you sold our 2 best players. How can you be surprised we went down? It's like, no, but you replaced them with dog shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You bought players from the Austrian Premier League, basically, and buying one, maybe you can get some good value, but you bought us every player we got in the transfer window last summer had never kicked a ball in the Premier League. It's a recipe for disaster.
Yeah, it is. It is. Like, the example of that is what was it? Newcastle under Steve McLaren. They brought in Tovan, Mitrovic, and all these players from different leagues and whatnot who hadn't played in England before, and they're surprised when it goes to shit. Like, anyone with a brain could have told you that was going to blow up in their face, and it did. And honestly, I mean, the way I look at like Leeds and clubs that are below the top 6, let's say, right? I think, to me, Brighton are kind of the blueprint for how you operate when you're in that bracket, where you kind of accept that you're going to lose your best players at some stage. Like, it just feels like a natural thing. But what your job is from then, you've got to then go and scout to find the next person to fill that role. And I don't think Leeds have done that. Like, when you lost Rafinha, I don't think you replaced him because he was.
How do you replace him?
Yeah.
How do you?
Again, that's the job of
You got to get close to it at least.
Yeah, that's the job of the recruitment team, is what I'm saying. You've got to go out and scout who could be that next guy, and they've not done that.
Mm.
You know, who else? Rodrigo.
No, you're right.
But is Rodrigo still there? Yeah, or is he gone?
No, we sold him.
Right. Okay, you
$3
lost
million.
Rodrigo, right? But again, like with Rafinha, you haven't replaced him. And what the job of the scouting team should be is go out and find someone that can fill the role that Rodrigo had. And that's where Leeds have gone wrong, in my opinion.
Part of it is Rodrigo gave us his best goal return last season, because the other 2 seasons we played him out of position because he was bought to replace Patrick Bamford, but the problem was Patrick Bamford scored 16 goals, so they weren't going to swap Patrick Bamford out for him because Bamford was scoring. But then it just turned into this weird mishmash of like we're playing Daniel James up front because of mass injuries, even though we bought Dan James to be on the wing, even though we already had Jack Harrison and Rafinha. So why are you buying Dan James in the first place? And I could write a thesis. On how badly this went. Do you know what I think?
Do you know what I think it is with Dan James? I think they bought him right because he had worked with Bielsa before, right?
Oh, I can tell you why we bought him. I'll tell you why we bought him. Because in 2018-19, we had Daniel James.
Set the bar now, Jeremy. They have, and I think the expectation from everybody related to Arsenal Football Club are going to be high this season.
Saka, Dennis Bergkamp.
Oh God. Don't start. Please don't start this.
Go on, Tom. Finish what you were saying.
All right. So we had it. We had him in the transfer window, the January one. He was at the club, him and his dad holding up the shirt and all that nonsense. And then Swansea basically went, "No, don't fancy selling him," and stopped taking our calls. So he went, because they knew they could sell him to Man United in summer, which they did. So it was basically Bielsa and Victor Orta, director of football. They were obsessed over getting him, almost like in a way like you could have got the girl, but you didn't. So then they went and paid Man United 30 million for the girl, even though he would become the 5th choice striker because Ronaldo appeared.
Oh my God, that right there is just like. I mean, the way I look at it, Tom, right? I prefer because like, you need them like kind of like big rivalries, if you get what I mean. Like, okay, Leeds aren't really a rival to Arsenal, but you'd have them in the league over Luton, right? But the way you're run, it's. I don't know, the fact that your owner is not saying jack to you right now, like if I was a Leeds fan right now, it wouldn't fill me with confidence.
Approach matches that season.
Look,
Liam, how you doing?
keep in mind though.
I'm
sorry.
I'm all good, mate. You?
Yeah, I'm all good. How's your honeymoon?
Yeah, shame to be back.
Yeah, especially for the year.
Shame to be back, mate. Fucking hell. Gone from like 35, 36 degrees to about 15.
You wouldn't have been the weather back. You wouldn't have been back with you.
Yeah, no chance.
Oh,
I've got her singing random Arsenal songs to me.
Yeah, literally.
She's got this issue with Emil Smith Rowe at the moment.
Oh God!
Right, so she says, right, why do they sing a song for a player that never plays? So instead of singing Saka and Smith Rowe, she's starting. What is it?
Saka and Dennis Bergkamp.
But Dennis Bergkamp don't play for us now.
He's retired since 2006.
No, that's my point. You're singing a song about a football player that ain't played all season.
The lad was injured. How could he play if he's injured?
No, it's just diabolical.
He's back now as well. He's won a European Championship.
She's got a big issue against Emil Smith Rowe.
Robert Perez.
He left us in 2006.
Oh no.
Oh,
He's got to score that, ain't he? Jesus.
Liam, right. Liam, right.
I apologise, mate. I might come back off in a minute, I tell you.
I'm going to bed. I've got to work tomorrow.
Yeah, good night.
Oh, Anthony scuffed it. He absolutely scuffed it.
That should be 1-0, shouldn't it?
It should have been a counter attack, but yeah.
I mean, if Smith Rowe was on the pitch, it'd be a different story, wouldn't it?
Jesus. I don't know what your beef is with him.
Because you sing a song about a player that don't even play. It makes no sense.
Until he got injured, he was playing. He had surgery, and then he had to fucking get his fitness back.
You're singing a song about a player that don't even play. He's Man United, might as well be sat in their seats singing about Beckham.
I'm going to mute her now because he's doing my head in. At the end of the day, he went out in the season to Dubai, got himself warm with a training, went off to play the under-21 championship, won the championship, top goal scorer for us, and got a couple of assists along the way. He's shown his form getting back to it. He's 21, 22, whatever. Give the lad a break.
Right.
Just don't worry, she's going to bed in a sec.
Make sure all the doors are locked, please.
Yeah. Apologies.
That's all good. Man.
Is she a Tottenham fan by any chance?
She might as well be one, mightn't she?
Mm.
Come on, you Reds. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Good night.
Yep, see you later. I think she's funny as well, do you know what I mean? I'll give her a big old smile. Yep, she's out the house. She's gone. Right.
At the house, all right. They kicked her out of here. Okay.
Jesus.
I was saying, obviously, before obviously started streaming all about Declan Rice, Havertz, and all that. So, what obviously you said months ago, since we've been mentioning that getting him in, if we got him in, game changing.
Yeah.
Stand by.
Oh. Yeah, no, I'll stick by that, mate. It is a game changer, isn't it? It's a game changer in so many contents, really, I think.
Ooh,
Right.
Declan.
Nick,
Declan?
he's definitely going to be the next England captain, isn't he? Let's be honest, without a shadow of a doubt, in my opinion. Not something that you couldn't imagine Arsenal doing, could you? It's like going out and spending 100 million on an English-based player either.
No.
But yeah, no, I think.
Bro, it's not even just Declan Rice, right? Because what was it? I was saying earlier, right, that there's this theory that we make one more signing this window, which could be Kudus from Ajax, right? And then next summer we spend 100 million, but on a striker. And the theory is it could be Osimhen. Now that could happen. Like Declan Rice coming to Arsenal. If you said to us at the start of last season that the season following that we'd be bringing in Declan Rice, people would have laughed at you, right? Now, not such a thing anymore. So Osimhen coming to Arsenal, this is something that could happen. Like, let's not try and dismiss it completely. You know what I mean?
No,
But yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing, innit? It's changed the whole direction. It's not just game changing in terms of Declan Rice playing for Arsenal and even strengthening the midfield and all that. It's game changing in terms of what's going to happen moving forward. You know what I mean? Like you said, like we ain't after this season. I believe that we'll only ever go out and buy 1-2 players, but we'll go and buy players that are going to be massive players and who are going to strengthen the team. Like there is no point strengthening your bench, is there?
No, not really. Not really, no. No. Like, again, there's things when they go on about, like, strengthening, like, your bench and stuff, right? No serious club goes out there and buys squad players for the hell of it. Like, you buy players that will strengthen the first team, but some will be on the bench. Like, because that's what Man City do. They don't go out there and go, oh, this guy will be good as backup for Haaland. No, they go out and buy Julian Alvarez because, well, one, because they can, and two, it's not like they've got this idea of, oh, you'll forever be a bench player. No, they buy him because one, it strengthens their team, and two, they have an eye in for him to get into the first team and play consistent games as well.
No,
Yeah.
exactly. Got a question from Mark in the chat. It says views on the new away shirt.
I don't actually mind it, you know. I think the more and more I've seen it, the more and more I like it, and I think it's going to be one of them kits in it that's going to probably be quite iconic in about 10 years' time.
I don't mind it, although I wouldn't want to see someone wearing it while I'm drunk. Because I'm just like, because no, because all I'm thinking
how are we not scored?
Like, all I'm thinking is, if I'm drunk and I see someone wearing that, right, my eyes are gonna go all loopy. Like, we don't want that. Like, no.
Whoa. Oh, he almost scored. Sorry, he almost scored. But yeah, going to the same kind of sorry.
No. All I'm saying is, I don't want to see that shirt like when I'm drunk. That's all. Like, I don't want to see that shirt when I'm fucking drunk. Like, no.
Not a fan of shit away shirts, really.
Well, it's not that it's shit. I just don't want to see it when I'm drunk. Like, much like I didn't want to see the Nigeria like kit from years ago when I was drunk, because that shit was wavy. Like,
I don't know. Oh no, personally, I love wild away shirts that look nothing like the home shirt, or wholly unnecessary. Excuse me. But I don't know. No, my team's had some absolute dire. We had a really bad away shirt in '94, which was basically dark green and like blue purple stripes. So then
I remember
Leeds
that.
went, yeah. No, I'll tell you why you remember it, because then when we got promoted in 2020, they went, why don't we bring back a shirt that's basically that one again? Like, as a tribute to it. It's like, you're going to make a tribute to our shittest away shirt. And that's why we're in the championship 3 years later.
Do you know what? The one Arsenal top that we've had over the years that I can't stand, right? And it does, to be honest, it doesn't even look that bad, but every time I see it, I'm reminded of how shit we were. And Arsenal fans will know which one I'm talking about. The blue away one. I cannot stand that fucking shirt. Because every time the light blue
on it.
Yeah.
No. The light blue one, right? From like 2018. I cannot stand that shirt, because every time I look at it, I just think of our really bad away form that season, and it drives me up the wall. Like, no. Like, there's certain kits that you can't stand for visual reasons, but then there's certain kits that you can't stand for other reasons, and that's one of them.
I did say to a few Arsenal fans, I know, if you win at the Etihad in that shirt, you all love it.
It's one of them, innit?
Moments make shirts.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
If you do something massive in that shirt, then it'll be absolutely iconic, won't it?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, Leeds have got a burgundy away shirt, and it's going to be legendary because we won a Man City in it.
Yeah.
So
like the Sylvan Will.
It's going to be synonymous. Yeah.
It's like the Sylvan Will tour, isn't it? That shirt's always that's always going to be iconic because we went to Man United and won the league in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. The gold Sagan.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sam says, to be honest, nothing tops the who won the genocide shirt, obviously referring to the white marble effect a couple of years back.
Bloody hell.
I mean, visually it wasn't bad, but I mean, we were really, really bad that season that we had that. Although, that said, this is what makes this team so satisfying now, right? When you look at the team we had back then compared to the team we've got now, all you can do is smile, because I mean, it's not even the players individually. It's just the characters and the team that we had. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just a bunch of shitheads, basically. So, nah, like.
Mark saying, be ideal if you have an early morning run in the dark on a winter's day. Referring to the away kit. You won't be missed.
Yeah.
Put it that way.
I don't know why, but it looks like one of those. It looks like something you'd wear on like your trips to the gym on a weekend.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but like it looks very much so like a tracksuit.
It's a bit of a headache, isn't it? Looking at it.
If
That's got a
I
prize.
It's that colour.
if I was a copper and I saw someone dead on the floor outside at night in that shirt, I would immediately go, he was killed by his wife and dumped outside. They'd go, why was that? I'd be like, because who on earth would get run over at night in that Arsenal shirt? So it was obviously done inside, and then they've dumped him up because the car would see it. So
Jesus Christ!
just thought I'd throw that too far.
Welcome to Mr. Arsenal podcast,
My
everyone.
analogies are bad. Jeez.
Is that too far? All right.
No,
I mean,
it wasn't
just
too
work
far,
with it,
bro.
let's
It's just like that's way worse than any analogy that I put for. Jeez.
Mild, really, but I might say so. I can spice it up a little bit, people. Anyway. So Arsenal playing Man United in New Jersey, are they? Oh,
Yeah,
all
New
right.
Jersey,
Yeah.
Oh,
Jersey, right. It's
And the
nil.
old
We've had a
MetLife
few
Stadium.
chances of score. It's set out though. Apparently, it's a set out in New York or Jersey, we call it.
yeah. The American markets are always big for both Arsenal and United, really.
Yeah. Well, our owners help on that one, don't they? Yeah, that's another thing. Man
Should have
United.
played it.
You're a United fan going into this season, a few weeks away now for the season now. The ownership situation is still not sorted out. I mean, Colin, you've got family Man United fans. How are they feeling about all this?
Well, as far as signings go, they're okay with it. Like,
But the ownership
they're
side
not.
of things, nothing's
Well,
set in stone.
okay,
Who's staying, who's going?
signings wise, they're optimistic about Mount, but they have their reservations. They like Onana, but you know, there's a lot more that they would like to see done on the ownership. Like, they don't pay that much attention to that. They're very much just like focused on like the on-field stuff as opposed to the off-field stuff. Like, because like they've said this to me before, but if they focused on the off-field stuff as much as the on-field stuff, it would drive them crazy. And I don't blame them for having that approach, because it would drive me crazy too. But obviously, it's not ideal. Like, they would have ideally liked it to, you know, be resolved before the window opened, but they knew that was never going to happen. So they're just taking it like a wait and see approach, kind of like a glass half full kind of thing, not flipping out, but then again, not being that satisfied with it either. Do you know what I mean?
In other news, Man United suck.
Yeah, I mean, we've been the more superior team possession-wise, but yeah, Bruno's just been Bruno.
Yeah.
I won't talk about the match. I just meant in general.
No, but I'm adding to that with the match as well. So
I don't know. Even when they were the best club in the world, couldn't stand them.
who could, apart from Man United fans themselves, who could stand them, even when they were good? So
They're the most hated club in England.
Even now, they're saying something when it's shit.
Definitely the most hated. Strangely, Tottenham ain't that far behind.
Again,
They lost over there, didn't they? With West Ham.
Like I said to you, bro, who would support Tottenham? Really? It's like child abuse. That like it just is.
I know about 4 Tottenham fans at work, and I say it every time, but it's really disproportionate to what I would have expected. Just like, how are there 4 of you concentrated in one building? It's just, it's absurd. It is absurd. I can't believe it every time I see like, and they congregate together and like discuss Tottenham, and I'm like, oh god, it's like some sort of inbred football kind of like mothers meeting or something. It's just.
Is it one of these things where it's I guess a support group for like depressed Tottenham fans? Is that what it is?
It's quite similar to that actually, especially if they've lost. Like they'll congregate, and it's like I just like over, and then they'll turn around and go, "Shut up, Leeds supporter."
Bro, like, you know, this is again. I've said this before, mate. Right? Tottenham are like that nosy neighbor, right? Who like to think they're bigger than they are, when in reality they're not. Like, they're just.
I can sum up Tottenham in one sentence. They're the Everton of the South.
Yeah, it's about right.
So not too long now. Sooner rather than later, they'll be relegated.
Yeah, they both spend obscene amounts of money and win nothing. How are they not their equivalent in each half of the country?
Bro, I've said this many times, and look, this isn't a disrespect to Leeds at all, because I actually like the Leeds team from like the late 90s to early 2000s, right?
Yeah,
they're a B-Tech Leeds from that era, right? They're not as good. They win nothing, and they go on like they're the top of the tree, basically. Like that. I don't think this is controversial at all. I actually think that Leeds team was far better than the Tottenham team, even at its peak under Poch. I do. Like no one's.
It's just because they're in London.
Yeah,
you have more money coming through, basically.
Like at least, because what was it? You made it to what, a Champions League semi-final? What was it? Valencia you played, wasn't it?
Valencia, yeah.
That was a good Valencia team back then as well. So again, like, even when Leeds won nothing, right? There wasn't this expectation for them to win anything, because they were competing with like the top clubs in Europe around that point. We were on top of our game as well. United were probably the best team in Europe, or at least close to it. They were competing with clubs in the Champions League that were at their peak at the time. Like, Tottenham's Champions League run, but if you look at it, like, they got really lucky. Like, come on. Like, at least Leeds had
that one player.
Yeah, Leeds had I don't remember the run that you guys had in the Champions League en route to that semi-final, but I'd imagine it would have been a lot harder than that Tottenham run was.
We were in the group stage. We had Barcelona, AC Milan, and Besiktas. No. Yeah, it was Besiktas. Yeah. Like, and basically one of Barcelona and AC Milan didn't go through.
Yeah. Yeah, you had 2 European giants in your group, bro. That says it all. Like,
can't remember which one we eliminated. That sounds really elitist. It's like, fuck them. I just forgot. I forgot as we were brushing them aside. Nah, it was good times. Good times until. But don't get me wrong. If someone had said to me, "Would you trade all that for just maybe not buying Seth Johnson or Rio Ferdinand with money you didn't have?" I'd probably think, yes, you should probably not just spend that money that you don't have. So.
Yeah, Yeah.
Good business practice, really.
Yeah, you kind of it was sad to see that because like I liked that Leeds team. I did. Like outside of my own club, which was Mint at the time, like if there's one team you kind of want to see do well, but you know, not at the expense of your own club, obviously.
No, of course not.
But if there's one team you want to see do well, it was that Leeds team. At least that's from my perspective. Like,
yeah, it was like, this would sound really silly, but and as much as I like make fun of Ryan and use this as a crutch to be like to basically to basically batter you all with it, I'm just basically like, I wasn't pleased that we won at Highbury to give Man United the title. Like,
no.
I was sat there like, all right, we've won a football match, great, but it's a shame it was that football match because they benefited from it.
Yeah,
twice.
You've done it twice, mate.
Yeah,
You've done it fucking twice.
Yeah.
I don't like Man United, never will. Like, I know my family's Man United fans and all of that, but and trust me, going through that hell, it's like, I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. Like, seriously, like going through that hell of a family of Man United fans, jeez, like, ugh. Especially during like the 8-2 days. Like, can you imagine how hellish that was for me? Fucking hell! Like, if I was able to like drink around that time, I probably would have drunk myself into a coma. Legit, that's what I would have done. But sadly,
I can tell you one. You'll be surprised by this. One time that I was most proud as a Leeds fan was when we were 7-0 down against Man City with 20 minutes on the clock left, and I'm sat there like, God, this is going to be a Premier League record. Oh God, they're actually going to break the 9-0. Like, of course they're going to. We're dog shit, like the worst, terrible. Every adjective for bad you can think of, we were it. And for some reason, Man City didn't score for the next 20 minutes. Phew, we're just shit. We're not going to be a statistic.
Yeah.
We ended up being a statistic, like the worst defence ever in the Premier League and all this kind of shit. But we didn't get beat by more than 9.
There's been moments through there's been moments in the league where I've gone, Jesus Christ, like, although what I will say, like, okay, it might not have been pleasant to experience as a Leeds fan, right? But what I will say is that 6-2 against United, right? Even when you're getting battered from pillar to post, you're still going at it, right? And I know it wasn't.
I was dead proud of them. I know what you're gonna say. Dead proud of them.
Yeah, like it probably wouldn't have been pleasant to experience like all those goals going in against your side, but the fact that you kept on pushing and you didn't like throw the towel in, which, let's be honest, most clubs would have done at that point, like, you can't help but applaud that. Like, you really can't. Like, okay, you lost, but at least you tried. You know what I mean? And no one expected Leeds to beat Man United then anyway. So
I knew we'd done well when Roy Keane was sat there, basically, and you know he rips defending to shreds, and he basically went, what am I meant to say? You knew what would happen. We knew they'd turn up and do what they did, and they lost 6-2. They don't defend well, but they try. Yeah. And he never says that sort of thing. No. We should have scored about 6-7 goals ourselves, though, but...
No. Although there was moments that season where you had big win, like, for example, the Man City game that season. Like, I thought Man City would have beat you that season, but they didn't. Like,
yeah.
I had one of my colleagues at work bet on Leeds to beat Man City. The problem was he cashed out in the 91st minute.
Oh no!
10 seconds before Leeds scored in injury time.
Oh,
Great.
shit. Oh. Oh, man.
Hilarious.
I understand.
Jesus.
Oh, for fuck's sake! Ah,
Psych, man.
Jesus,
fucking
Ramsdale. You've
soft
got to do
goal.
better
It'd
than
be
that.
that quick as well.
You've got to do
No,
better
fuck
than
all
that,
this game.
Ramsdale. Come on.
Fuck all. Bruno just.
That's a shit goal.
Yeah.
No, what? There's not. It's too slow. No one's come out to him. No one's come out to him. They backed off. There's no one. They've all just sat there and watched.
No.
It's pure
Sounds
bullshit.
close
Hell,
to that,
mate.
Sounds close to that whatsoever there.
It's fucking not good enough, that.
Oh, that's with Bruno. That's with Bruno as well, didn't it?
You know that
Him, he's the worst. I couldn't believe they gave him the captaincy.
Favoritism.
a little bit.
The way he behaved at Liverpool was disgusting. Sorry?
They ain't got no leaders. This is the thing, Man United. They've got no leaders in their squad. So it's like, who do they give the armband to now?
The way he behaved in that defeat at Anfield, and I say this as someone who supports a team that have been dog shit for 2 years, he was a disgrace.
Yeah.
And they've gone, we're going to reward you for that by giving you the responsibility to team up in bad times.
Yeah.
When
Mate,
he
he's
will
not.
be
He's not a leader, bro. He's not. Like, because what was all right? He's. You know the problem with Bruno, right? He has good moments where he scores screamers and stuff. But when they're up against it, right, time and time again, I see him ghosting games, and that's not something you want from your captain. Like, it's just not. Like, in the same sense that, you know, I wouldn't give, like, okay, this is going back the years, but I wouldn't give Mesut Ozil the captaincy. You know what I mean? Like, because I know he's going to ghost games, and I know he's going to charge around like a shithead.
It feels a bit like we're giving you it so you don't request to leave.
Basically. Didn't we do that? Didn't we used to do that, Colin, with our captains?
Yes.
You had the armband too.
Yeah.
You gave it to who you thought was the best or most important player.
Yeah.
Bro, I remember one game when we gave Theo Walcott the captaincy on his fucking birthday. Like, seriously.
Yeah.
Like, nah.
That's ridiculous.
Like, the captaincy ain't a birthday gift. I don't give a damn. Like, you give the captaincy to, like, the leader in the team. Although, all right, I'll give you this. We didn't have any, like, leaders in the team at that point because we just didn't.
Was it in a competitive match?
Yeah. At home.
I mean,
oh no, like, if you're doing it for like, if you did it in like a testimonial.
It wasn't Chelsea. I think it was Southampton in 2016. We did that when we drew 0-0.
It might be Southampton, then, yeah, but it was Premier League come at home, yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I mean, who does that? Like, really, who gives the captaincy to someone on their birthday? Like, come on. Like, nah.
Unless it was his like 8th birthday, then you probably shouldn't do it.
I mean, if it's his 8th birthday, he should be playing professional football. Never mind like that. But no.
Well, I mean, no, like you do it like in the under 8s. You go like, oh yeah, that kind of mentality. But
yeah, that's fine if you're like if you're coaching like academy fucking football, but not Premier League football.
It's not the mentality of a team that's going to win something in May.
No. And you know what? We weren't at that point. I know we were like, what was it? We were either second or third in the league at that point. I think we might have been second. But I never won apart from, okay, no. Was that no. I think that was after Man United. We never looked like apart from the game against Leicester, we never really looked like we were gonna, close that gap really, because I thought we could do it after Leicester, because that goal from Danny Welbeck, like you've lost all like rationale. You're just going mental, like we're going to win the league, and it's not an irrational thought that we could have done it after that game, because that's the type of goal where you think, yeah, you might be able to do it. You know what I mean? But we just never kicked on from there. Like, and again,
that's exactly it. I can't remember after it, but you probably followed it up with a crushing, disappointing defeat.
Yeah, it was Man United at Old Trafford. That's what it was. And it was Man United. It was Man United's basically B team with Rashford when he was like 18 or 17 or something stupid like that. Like, it just, I knew then we weren't going to do it, because you can't go from a title-winning game like that against Leicester to a drop-arse performance against United. It just doesn't happen. Like, title-winning teams beat that Man United side after Leicester, and they go on a winning run. To secure the title. We didn't.
Other than the team, they slayed all the big six, apart from Arsenal. So they slayed 5 of the big 6. That's how they won it. Was just that they would just every week it felt like just Leicester have won another match that no one expected them to win. They've won at the Etihad. They've won against Liverpool. They probably beat Man United. It was all in that run where Jamie Vardy just kept scoring. But
at every point, what I remember.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
You're twat.
What the fuck is he playing at, Gabriel, mate? What the fuck? This is fucking embarrassing, mate. It's first half. We've been absolutely fucking shit in midfield, mate. And fucking just calamity, that is. That's fucking embarrassing, mate.
What is that? What the fuck is that?
Mate, look at this. What the fuck is that, mate? That's fucking something you see on a fucking Sunday League fucking pitch, mate. Do you know what I mean?
Just so lackadaisical, man.
Rams are getting done near post as well.
That's twice, by the way. Could have saved the first one as well.
Yeah, he fluffed the first one. Done his near post there. But fucking Gabriel, what's Gabriel doing?
Mate, they're not even playing a fucking decent side, mate. Do you know what I mean?
No, they're not. Bro, it's 6 starters for them, and the rest of it's like players that probably aren't going to make the starting 11 on the first game of the season. So, again, it's like, what?
No, they're fucking all over us, mate. Every time they come forward, mate, we look fucking scared.
Oh, fuck. Oh.
I'd get Jesus on, mate. Get fucking Eddie off as well.
Do you know what, mate? I don't think you can play Odegaard and Havertz in the same team.
No, you can't.
Based on this first half. Because
he's not Havertz, he can't, mate.
No. Havertz isn't gonna he's not like Odegaard where he's gonna work put the hard yards in midfield. Like Odegaard,
mate, they're fucking all over us, mate. They are literally fucking all over us. Every time they swarm forward, mate, we're just all over the place.
Yeah. If you're gonna play a top team, you don't play Odegaard and Havertz on the same team.
You got to play Partey and Rice, mate. I know Partey's only just gone out there, but there's no way. It's an interesting one with Havertz, isn't it? It's like a bit of a luxury kind of signing, in my opinion.
Yeah, I wouldn't say I'm overly convinced by Havertz yet. I mean, okay, if Arteta wanted him, then obviously I want him too. But here's the thing, I'm still allowed to. This is what people misunderstand, right? Even if you back the manager, you're still allowed to have reservations over certain players. It's not, the two aren't mutually exclusive. And all right, you did well against the MLS All-Stars, great. But Man United aren't like the MLS All Stars, bro. They're not. Like
Yeah.
I've seen us pipe the MLS All Stars many times over the years, and I've never thought once, yeah, this is a real test, because it's not. Like it's not. Like okay, it's preseason, like, and people can, the team's still having to like gel and whatnot. Fine, but at least be set up like semi-organized in midfield. Do you know what I mean? And they're not. So I hope Havertz proves me wrong. I do, and I do think he'll surprise people. But when you're playing top teams, you don't play Odegaard and Havertz in the same team. You just don't.
It's risky, mate. It's risky because I've not like, and this is not just last season before as well, right? We've tried it with Odegaard and Smith Rowe. It's never ever worked. It's never ever worked. And for me, like especially in the Premier League, like you said, right, against the big teams, and there's a lot of big teams that there's at least 7 or 8 big teams in there where you're like, you need to be at your best to win a game. So when you start looking at Man City, Man United, Chelsea, Tottenham, Liverpool, Newcastle, do you know what I mean? Like, you've got to compete in midfield. You've got to have people physically who are going to compete in midfield. And it looks to me, first half, mate, Declan Rice is well isolated there, mate. He's literally on his own. He's literally on his own, mate. And they're just pouring forward.
Yeah. Like, if you're going to play Havertz, right, you put him
down.
You put him in Odegaard's position. You don't put him in where Partey should be. You don't put him in the Declan Rice position. You play him as one of the 8s, and you put Odegaard on the bench, right? But again, like even against like sides like Brighton and stuff like that, I wouldn't even play like Odegaard and Havertz against those guys either, because what we know about Brighton, right? They're gonna battle you in midfield. They just are. Like,
well, they're probably one of the top 8-9 teams, isn't they? We've been honest.
And Havertz, from what I've seen in this first half, right? And again, like I've said, I don't count MLS All Stars because let's be honest, we've beaten MLS All Stars many times over the years. Like, I need to see him perform against a side that is of a good enough level or as good as we are to make a proper judgment. And so far from what I've seen this first half, I don't like it.
Tomiyasu is not a left back either, mate. Like,
No.
We've tried that many times. I don't know why we keep going back to that well.
And that's the other thing for me, mate. Tierney's 100% got to be off, innit? Like, you can't be sitting on the bench, mate, not playing against the first 2 games, and you're sitting there and watching Kawour and Tomiyasu playing in front of you. But he's not a left back, mate, whatsoever. Do you know what I mean? And to be fair, I think he's going to be one of them players that are going to end up being surplus to requirements anyway, because obviously you've got Ben White and that timber. Where's Tomiyasu's position now? He ain't really got one, has he? And you can't be telling me that he's going to be a second choice left back.
The only position I can see Tomiyasu covering potentially is that right centre back role. Like, because again, like White and Timber are going to be our right backs for the season, with Tomiyasu is third choice right back, right? He's not a left back, can't play there. Like, where else other than right centre back? And to be honest, he's not even first choice in that position either.
No, Ben White will go there before he will.
Exactly. So it's just like,
so he ends up being surplus requirements as well, don't he? But I just like his first half, mate. I just think like you can see already, mate, where the issues would lie in his first half performance if we play up like this.
Yeah, if we play that midfield, then yes, you can see the issues where it would be Odegaard and Havertz as the 2 8s with Rice sitting. Like, it's weak. Let's be real about it. It's weak. So I just nah. I don't want to see Havertz and Odegaard in the same team. I don't. We've tried that with Smith Rowe, like you mentioned. It didn't work then. Why did anyone think it was going to work? Like, 'cause it's not going to. Like,
well, we've tried it, and we tried it with Fiera as well. We've tried it with Fiera and Odegaard, and it hasn't worked as well.
Vieira's not bro. Again, people keep thinking Vieira's can play an 8. He's not an 8. He never will be an 8. He played the right wing role at Porto. He's never been a midfielder. Like, he played 10 at times, but he's able to do that because he's not having to defend. If you play as an 8 in a midfield 3, you've got to defend at some stage.
Yeah,
he's not good defensively.
Like, I think once the season starts, I think Partey and Rice are in that midfield. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think
It has to be Partey.
Our first choice midfield, and I don't even think it's up for conversation. Like, I really don't. It's Partey sitting, Rice is one of the 8s, and Odegaard is the other 8.
Yeah.
But I don't even think that needs to be questioned. Like, if it does, please tell me, but I don't think it does.
Well, no, it ain't, is it? It's quite obvious, mate. It's quite obvious what the front 3 is as well. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And yeah, not Eddie. Eddie can piss off. I'm sorry, he ain't doing nothing in this game. 3 games he's played now, he's been non-existent.
He's just not good enough, mate. I know it's harsh, like, but I think like his level would be probably going somewhere like Crystal Palace, somewhere like that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But what is he 20? I didn't realise he was 24. He's 24 now, isn't he? So like he has to start making the right decision for his actual future. Do you know what I mean? Like playing games week in, week out. Like he's not going to play week in, week out for us. Like he's got to make a decision sooner or later, ain't he? Surely.
I mean, like, if he's comfortable, then he won't. But if that's the case, I wouldn't want Eddie at my club if he feels comfortable being a squad player, because I want. All right, maybe this is foreign to some people because, you know, who knows in this day and age, it might actually be. But I don't want players that are comfortable to just sit on the bench and take a pay packet, because we've had enough of that over the last 10 years. And where did it get us? Nowhere. So I'd much rather players that, you know, okay, you might be on the bench some weeks, but ultimately you want to compete and get in the first 11, because ultimately competitiveness is what breeds a winning mentality. And that's really what we want, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who else would give him $100,000 a week?
Nobody.
No.
That's why he's stuck with him for another 4 years.
Yeah. That's the point. That's the point. Like,
anyway, whistle's gone for half time. So 2-0.
Honestly, if I'm Arteta right now, I'm bringing on Jesus. I don't give a fuck. Like, I really don't.
What the fuck is Senhor complaining about? He's literally.
What's he losing his way for?
He's in an official's face, screaming and spitting in his face, basically.
How bad is it when your captains can't tell you to go away?
And the captain's Bruno Fernandes, by the way.
Yeah, you can just tell like we're going to have to rethink with that midfield, I think.
Oh yeah. Get Havertz off. With all due respect to him, get Havertz off. Get Partey on. I know Partey's only just arrived, but get him on a few minutes in the thing. Because after this, you've got Barcelona, then you've got the Emirates Cup, and then Man City. Then the league starts. So get him in ASAP. Get him used to having Partey alongside him, and off we go.
Yeah,
as I say, Havertz
Partey, Rice, Odegaard. Simple. Like,
yeah. And leave it
if you want to play Havertz as an 8 at some point, fine, but you put him in Odegaard's position. You don't play them together. No.
He said, like, don't get me wrong, I really hope like he comes in and does a wicked job for us, Havertz, like we all do. Do you know what I mean? There's no one out there who's going to bet or hope that he doesn't do well. But it's a lot of money, isn't it? It is a lot of money. Like, and the thing is, like you say, we don't spend 60-odd million for someone to sit on the bench. You know what I mean? So he's coming in to play a role. I'm not brought in on the number 8 role personally, just because like I know we all know what the Premier League's like. We know how hard it is to win games in the Premier League. You've got to be at your best every game. But at the moment, I don't see where he plays. The only place I can see him playing is up top.
I mean, he could be there like as that false nine, but there's times where I've watched him at Chelsea as a false nine, and he's not really contributed anything. In fact, when he's played there for Chelsea in games, I have seen him ghost. You know what I mean? Like I'm not convinced about Havertz, but I'm not gonna go too far the other way and go, I hope he flops. Do you know what I mean? Like I'm always gonna have that kind of hope he does well. But if there's one criticism I have still, I don't want to see Odegaard and Havertz in the same team. I just don't.
No.
Like I've seen enough of it after one half. Like seriously.
It's a lot of work for the number 6. So that's what I do know.
Don't they know that we're doing a watch-along on this? Like, can't they like win? Just to
I know.
make
Can't
it a
just
bit more,
try.
make it a bit
just
more
sort of-
interesting. Bit more enjoyable.
Thing is, we just start off. We were the better team until Bruno scored that fluky goal in, because obviously Ramsey makes a mistake, getting his hands, he still goes in and all that. We were the better team. We were creating more chances, and looked like we were the ones that were going to score. They weren't doing nothing, and then suddenly one goal, and then fucking Gabriel fucking kick in the air, and then and suddenly it goes out of our control. That's why it's like pre-season.
Gabriel has got that in his game now, isn't he? Let's be honest. Gabriel has got that in his game.
Yeah.
Gabriel has got that in his game. That's something he needs to start obviously ironing out, mate, because that second one is so embarrassing. It's so basic as well. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, he don't need to do what he's done there. He don't need to go and just go and swing at it. Do you know what I mean? Well, he's literally on the halfway line. He's not even really pressurised, is he? Let's be honest.
Nah, he's done that a few times, and it's one of those things where I've just gone, that's something that he needs to work on. Like, but again, when he did really well following his fuck ups, right, and was one of the standout players in the team, and we're all like, we're all celebrating that, right? There's certain contingent that are going, oh, why are you celebrating that? You were saying he was like, he's having bozo moments. And I'm just like, well, yeah, he was. Like, there's nothing wrong with that statement because he was. Like, I remember, what was it? Liverpool at the Emirates where he had a bozo moment and they scored off of it. Like, it's not, I don't think, like, there's criticism, right? And then there's criticism for criticism's sake. Right, and I don't think anything that we say like is invalid because look, we're just watching the game as fans. Like we don't claim to be pundits. Like we never will. Like, at least I won't anyway. But again, like every defender has bozo moments. It's how you react to them. You know.
I've got someone I know, right, proper hates Ramsdale. He's going on me, right, about the second goal. Go, mate, you're not even discussing a Gabriel. You're not even discussing him. You're just talking about fucking Ramsdale. Like, all right, fair. I've seen that first again, and Ramsdale's got to do much better. Like, don't get me wrong, mate. He shouldn't even have a shot at him. There's so many defenders around him that someone should be closing that down.
Yeah.
I just think we've been a bit slow all over the pitch, if I'm being totally honest. I just like. I think we started off all right, but like as the game went on in the first 25 minutes, I thought Man United were getting more and more into the game, and they were getting into some really good areas. And I think we was quite lucky a few times even before they scored. I just think that we haven't been at the races in this first half whatsoever, and we need some changes. Yeah,
do you know what I think it is? Right, I think it's just like the fact that all right, maybe this is a bit harsh considering he's just arrived, but I don't think we fully know what Havertz's role is in this team yet. And that's a bit of a concern. Like, I mean, when you sign someone, you should know what role you want them to kind of implement, you know what I mean? But, I mean, I think Arteta knows what role he wants Havertz to fill, but I don't know if Havertz knows how to do that role. Like, you know, it's kind of like the manager knows, but the player doesn't. It's kind of, I don't know. It's kind of a bit of a mindfuck, if I'm honest.
It's going to be interesting, isn't it? It's going to be interesting what we actually do in terms of like. I think the Havertz one's a really interesting deal because I think that not really many people expected it. Do you know what I mean? Well, I don't think anyone really expected it. Like, we sat there on the last game of the season and predicted signings for this season. No, none of us would have said Havertz, would we?
No. I didn't have Havertz in my fucking signings list.
No one would have said it. So now we've got him. Is he going to be interesting?
I had Rice in mind. I had Rice in mind because that's been about since January, right? So it's logical to go right. Rice could be in and amongst the signings, right? Obviously, there would have been factors around it, but ultimately, almost everyone would have put Rice in their in their kind of sightings list for the season. No one had Havertz in there. Like, when the Havertz link first came about, everyone was like, nah, bullshit, not happening.
I think everyone is getting off their getting a bit too wrapped up in that we're going on Havertz. It's not actually going in on Havertz, is it? It's going in on what we think should be the midfield. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not sold still that to compete in the Premier League. That we're ready enough to go and play with 2 number 8s or 2 number 10s, whatever you want to call it. Do you know what I mean? I just think that when you're in midfield, mate, our best teams always have physicality. And the way I look at it, Partey and Rice start the season for me all day long. I can't see how anyone can see any different. I can't see how anyone can see any different.
No, and if anyone wants to say, oh, you play with 2 8s with Xhaka and Odegaard. Xhaka had a bit of physicality. Like,
Xhaka was a centre midfielder as well. That's the difference. Xhaka was a centre midfielder.
Havertz isn't Xhaka, bro. Like, Havertz is a 10 who played at, like, you know, all across the front line at times at Chelsea. Like, Xhaka's played what? CM, CDM, deep lying. Like, he's played all over the midfield at times. Like, so if you want to put Xhaka on an 8, right, you can kind of go, right, you could probably do this role to, like, the level that I want, right? With Havertz, it's like, well, you've never played that position, so you're having to kind of learn on the spot. Well, I don't want my midfield to include a midfielder who is having to relearn a role from scratch because he's never played there before. I would much rather a team who know what their role is in the team, have played that role before, and know what the fuck they're doing. Partey has played CDM before and has done it over his career. Declan Rice has played CDM mostly, but he's got central midfield experience to the point where he can play an 8. Odegaard, again, has proven he can be the 8 in a midfield 3 alongside 2 other midfielders who have got experience playing in central midfield before. It's not difficult to understand. It's not like we're saying, oh, I hope Havertz flops so we can get rid of him. No, it's not like that. It's just we know what we've seen in this first half, and we don't like it. It's that simple. Like, it's not like we're saying, oh, he's shit, I hope we get rid of him. No, it's not like that at all.
I think it was clear enough when we said that, is that we've seen this before with Vieira and Smith Rowe as well. Hasn't worked any time under any of the other funds. Like, hopefully it does work at some point, but it's a big ask in the Premier League. Like, it's different when you're like Man City and you've got a whole team based around you with like luxurious stars that you can play that role. But it's very hard, isn't it? It's really hard to play that, I think, in the Premier League.
Yeah.
Really hard.
Honestly, mate, like Man City with De Bruyne on that, right? De Bruyne basically plays the same role that Odegaard plays in our team. Like, if you played De Bruyne as a number 8 who's next to the DM, he'd struggle. It's as simple as that. Like,
I do wonder though with Havertz in the false nine. I could see us in certain games resolute into that. Like if we're away, like take the Everton game last year. We needed someone who could hold that ball up a little bit up top. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like them, they were the kind of games where I think that Havertz could come in here, right, and have a little bit of a difference for us and just mix it up a little bit. I think that could work in certain games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, it's like we were saying. It's not like we're saying, "Oh, Havertz is shit" and all this, right? It's just we've seen like players like him in an 8, and it never works. Like, because see, when you think like Rice, Odegaard, and Havertz in the midfield, it feels and it sounds lightweight. Like if you, and to be honest, I don't think Havertz is a midfielder anyway. Like I think he's more like a 10-stroke false 9 kind of thing, right? But with him, it's like I get you're trying to learn a new role and everything, but let's be honest, would anyone have Havertz over Partey, Rice, or Odegaard in their midfield? No.
Well, that has to be the first choice. That has to be the first choice. Well, how we play it, how we play it is a different ball game in terms of how that gets played. But the start of the season surely has to be Partey, Rice, Odegaard. Then you have Martinelli, Saka, Jesus up top. Like, do you know what I mean? I think potentially Ben White does start the season at right back still, and Saliba, Gabriel, and obviously Zinchenko when he's back. That's the team, isn't it? That for me, that's the team.
Yeah, I mean, look, he's a weird one because okay, I like the business that we've done. I'm not going to sit here and say that I don't, right? Because then I'd be lying. But like, we're allowed to question certain things, and I don't get this mentality where all of a sudden, like, you're not allowed to. Like, it's just so foreign to me. Like, we've seen that Havertz isn't working in midfield. We don't like it, and we don't want to see it in the Premier League. We haven't said anything like he's shit or nothing. We haven't said, "Oh, I hope we get rid of him." We've just made observations. Like, what's the problem here?
For me, he competes for number 10 role. He potentially obviously has an alternative up front, and maybe against the lesser teams he can play in that role. But even when you talk about the lesser teams, you can't take anyone for granted in the Premier League. Do you know what I mean? Like,
No.
I think we did that a little bit last year when we played Vieira up there against Brentford, and do you know what I mean? We come unstuck in.
Bro, like, I've watched Vieira play a few times, right? And this was before he signed for Arsenal, by the way. Not consistently, but enough to get to gauge an opinion of it, right? Every time I watched him play for Porto, right, he either played right wing, 10, or another position in the forward line. He's never played an 8. Like, and even if he did, right, you can sort of get away with that in Portugal because it's not as physical. But you can't get away with that in the Premier League. You can't. Because, again, any time I watch him with us, he gets shoved off the ball way too easily. Like, he's got all these, like, nice, like, fancy tricks and stuff like that. But, bro, that don't mean shit. Like,
teams are out for the second half, by the way. Because, no changes from our side of things, but I think Sancho and Mount have gone off for United. I think a couple of others as well, but I couldn't see.
Do you still think we bring another midfielder in?
Yeah, I think so. Partey's staying or not, I think we do, just off the depth, because obviously there's rumours that Sammy Lokonga's about to go in Burnley permanently.
Yeah.
So
good deal for them. Good deal for him.
Yeah, I think for the depth, for that to replace him in that side of things, the squad depth, we will. Yeah.
I mean, I think we will get like kudos from Ajax because we've already like laid the groundwork with the Timber signing and whatnot, and I think
Cheney
it's smart
was
to kind of. I think it's smart to kind of get that working relationship with Ajax because of how many like quality players come from that academy. Like, I don't think Chelsea's sudden interest in
Tierney's come on.
Yeah, Cheney for Tomiyasu. It's only sub. Didn't realise that. Sorry.
I think
Well,
that one's gone under. I think that one's gone under the radar in the first half. Tomiyasu. Oh, he
Yeah.
was chasing shadows at times.
yeah, he's not a left back.
Wonder if anyone's got a few on that one.
Like I said, lads, I don't think Chelsea's interest in Kudus does anything to that overall situation. Like, if anything, it just proves that Todd Bowley is what I've said all along, and that's clueless. So it is what it is. But as far as other signings go, I don't know what other signings will come in apart from him. I mean, it depends on the outgoings. I'd be very much, again, the whole rumors about Partey leaving, which, by the way, Arteta dispelled today. Like, Partey's not going anywhere. Like, if that was a thing where Partey did go, I'd be like, I don't know about that. You know, because it's all well and good. It's all well and good saying, it's all well and good saying, we can like sell him and bring, someone else who can fill the role, and like, Rice can fulfill that role. But then, like, at the end of it, you've got to spend the money to find a player that's on Partey's level in the first place. And let's be honest, there aren't that many about.
Yeah, exactly.
You can't afford to lose both your first choice centre midfielders in one season anyway, especially after you finish second in the league. Like, it'd be ludicrous to lose both of them. That's shit. That's shocking.
10 subs half time from United. The only one that didn't go off is Heaton. The entire outfield's been changed by United. Oh, bloody hell. I'll wake up. Oh, hey. Not really getting bullied down to fucking ball so easily.
Nice win the ball there from Havertz.
Oh. Since he's for Sam saying no one answered my question. In the Partey, Rice, Odegaard midfield, how are you deploying Rice? I'm just curious.
Bit
like, I think it could be a bit like Gilberto and Vieira were, weren't it? One could sit, one could go. One could sit, one could go. One could sit, one could go.
Yeah. See that happening.
I think they both have got the ability to go forward. They both got ability to go forward. Do you know what I mean? Like, Partey's well good on the turn, isn't he? Like, that's the one thing about Partey, is that he's so good on the turn that he can kind of make an attack a half second quicker than most people, just juice that turn. But I think it could be seen as a 4-2-3-1, couldn't it, as such? Especially in certain games. There's certain games, right, where you could set up with both Partey and Rice as the two number sixes. Do you know what I mean? And just sit them in there. And then there's other games where you can go more 4-3-3. I'm not saying that we have to play that midfield all the time, but I think in the bigger games, I think definitely we have to go Partey Rice.
Yeah, I think with Rice, you're going to see a lot more. You'll see him be a lot more like a bit more free in midfield than he would be at West Ham. Because like West Ham don't have a good team, bro. They don't. Like, Rice is required to sit all the time in that midfield because of the rest of them, right? But with our team, it's different because he's got Partey sitting who could fulfill the role. Equally, Rice could do this holding role as well. But what I think might happen is you'll see Partey more sitting and Rice being like the instigator in attacks more so than Partey would be. And honestly, I think that's where we see the best of Rice. Because I don't think his true potential has been tapped into yet. Not even close. Like, the only reason people are saying, oh, he's overrated and stuff like that is because he had to play DM at West Ham because they didn't have the capabilities to let him go forward and be more expressive. Where you'll see that.
Rice can definitely play the number 8 role.
Yeah.
Rice can definitely play the number 8 role.
You'll see a more expressive version of Rice at Arsenal, in my opinion, because we are not going to be in the position where we're forcing him to sit because the rest of the team's dog shit.
Yeah.
And I know I'm going to offend West Ham fans with that. I don't give a damn. The fact is, they know what I'm saying is right because, let's be honest, he was their best player, like for a number of years.
Oh, for fuck's sake! I didn't even fucking shot a darn donkey.
None
None
of the West Ham fans are going to read this. They're about 18 minutes away from falling out of a pub. So, yeah. No worries about
do you know what it was, Tom? Yeah, they finished in the Europa spots, right? All of a sudden, they think there's something. Next season, right back down to reality.
That's the hope.
That's cool, now. I think that chance sums Eddie up a little bit, don't it? Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, he should score that. He absolutely should score that.
He either pulls that across, or he hits that on target, and it's a bit of nothing, is it? It's a bit of both.
Yeah, he's just.
No, I'd like to see Balogun get given a chance now, but I think that you can safely say that Balogun will leave once we get back.
Yeah. Do you know what? Like with Eddie, right? He's a weird
What are
one.
you doing? Fuck my life, mate. It's just fucking mistakes.
You've
done well to get back, though, mate. You've done brilliant to get back.
I think Eddie told everyone at Arsenal what Bielsa taught him, and then he forgot it.
Cool. There's no coverage on my screen.
No, none of mine either.
With Eddie, right?
He's going to get some money back on that.
He's a weird one, right? Because there's times where he looks amazing, right? And then there's times where he looks absolutely dog shit. Like, because what was it, the first few games when Jesus got injured, right? Eddie starts banging the goals and we're thinking, Jesus Christ, where's this guy been all this time? And then we go on a bad patch and it feels like the whole team is trying to play Eddie into the box to score, and it didn't work. Sort of like City with Haaland before Haaland got going, and it just felt static. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. Like I just feel like at 20, was he 24 now? Eddie 24.
Yeah.
24. That's what I'm saying.
Right, 24. He should be in a position where he can deliver something. Yeah, I see him start well in some and just go completely like off the boil in others. Like, no.
The way I look at him, mate, he's the last 20 minutes a man for us. The last 20 minutes of the game, if you want a bit of energy. Do you know what I mean? Get a bit of drive in there. But apart from that, I know it's been critical because obviously he had some good moments last year, but if we want to go, we're going to win the Champions League now. You know what I mean? We're not messing around with the UEFA Cup no more. He's not the man to move us forward. And like for me, he should be questioning himself as well because he knows he's not the man. He'll know he's not the man. You know what I mean? And you're 24 now, mate. Have you got any ambitions of playing for England? Have you got ambitions to play like 38 games a season? Because you're not going to get that at Arsenal.
Yeah. Because all we hear, right, is that he's got the record for the amount of goals scored in like under 21s for England and stuff like that. And I'm just like, okay, that's good. Now replicate that form for Arsenal, please. Like, I don't think that's asking too much. Like, okay, maybe not like the goal record and stuff like that, but just like the goal scoring ratio that he was having for the under 21s with England, right?
Yeah.
And I've not seen that. Like to me, right, it's like I was saying earlier, bro, like if you're just comfortable to be on the bench and be like a squad player for the last 20 minutes, sort of like Giroud was when Alexis was up front, then I don't want you here. Simple. Like, I want players that are going to compete. You know what I mean? Like, the way Eddie should think is, I want to break into that first team. The second Jesus like goes on a bad patch of form, hell, even when Jesus is on his game, I want to be on his heels the entire time in training to give the manager something to think about. But from what I've seen of Eddie, I just don't see it.
There is nothing to see.
No. What did we call him last time, bro? Like, was it no. It was you that said it, but I sort of lead into it as well. Like a poor man's Jermaine Defoe or something.
Yeah. That's what he is, mate. And the problem is, mate, Jermaine Defoe wouldn't play in the Premier League now in this time, yeah, right? Jermaine Defoe would struggle, not playing in the Premier League because he was good, but he would struggle in the systems now to play up top for someone.
Yeah, because he was a pace merchant.
Do you know what I mean? But yeah, exactly. He'd play off someone like Peter Crouch. He'd play off him, wouldn't he? But now you don't have that kind of player in the Premier League. You can't. You've got to have a lot more to your game to be able to play up top in the Premier League, haven't you? I don't want to. I hate being critical. Pardon?
Defoe wouldn't score many goals now, not because of lack of talent, because 90% of his goals would be running off the shoulder of a defender, and VAR would go boom, fingernail in front of him, no goal.
Yeah, that's what we're saying, bro.
So yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, I'm agreeing with you, but it's not a lack of talent that would lead to that. It's just the game has literally changed. You can't be. You can't do these 50-50 runs where even if you're slightly offside, as long as you're not obviously offside, the linesman will let it go because their human eye doesn't see it. Now the computer will go, bang, you're offside.
Martinelli off.
And he'll get 5 goals.
It's actually. I reckon it's got to be one of the hardest positions to play in nowadays. Up top, like
the way it works now, it's all technical. It's all like technical the way the game works now. Like,
oh my god, it's idiot.
If you see like just specifically the top teams, right? Man City have Haaland, who's basically just a brute and with the ball, like technically as good as anyone, right? You've then got Liverpool who have Darwin Núñez, again, technical footballer, as well as Cody Gakpo, who again is a technical player. You then have who's United striker most weeks? You know,
Rashford.
No. Rashford. Okay, well, you know, kind of a pace merchant, but also pretty technical on the ball as well. And then you've got us, who we've got Jesus as our striker. Like, you can't play with a pace merchant up top. Like, if that was the case, Chelsea wouldn't have gotten rid of Aubameyang.
No.
Like,
well, look, he struggled. There's the key one, isn't there? There's the key one. Even he was struggling.
Like, Aubameyang's biggest attribute was his pace.
And
we all knew when it went, he was going to go to shit. What happened? He went to shit.
It's definitely a tough one nowadays for, like, as we said, like, for a striker, you've got to have a lot to your game, and you ain't just going to get away nowadays being able to have a bit of pace, you know what I mean, and get on your last man, because, like you say, VAR is going to pull you up quite a lot of times, because even when you look,
anyway, you can't just be a lump either, because like, I mean, okay, I don't even know if Andy Carroll's still playing, but Andy Carroll wouldn't work in the Premier League now because all he is a lump. That's pretty much all he is. It's like hoof the ball up to him and hope he chests it down and catches one on his head.
Mate, I could name some really good strikers that would struggle. Robbie Fowler.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Ian Wright. I think Ian Wright would even kind of struggle like in a game nowadays. There's so many strikers nowadays that would struggle just due to obviously the way the game's gone. Like, there's so many in there. It's a very hard role now to fulfill. You've got to have so many attributes to be able to play up there. And like, it's interesting, isn't it? You don't, apart from Harry Kane, like, and obviously you look at it and you think, well, the top goal scorers, they've really been like coming off the wings, didn't they? Like Salah. I know Mane was smashing them in, weren't he? I know Haaland's obviously done it, but he's just a freak in nature. He is. Jesus.
Haaland is basically like Frankenstein, and we don't know who like the doctor is. That's basically what he is. He's Frankenstein, isn't he?
Yeah. Got to agree with BX Schooner. Ian Wright would chip anyone all day long, mate. The best, mate. I've never seen a player better at chipping a ball, mate, than Ian Wright. When I see that,
actually, here's one for you, right? Do you know who
he scored
really
a goal
good?
against Leeds?
He did, didn't he? John Luke was in goal.
Yeah, incredible. If I remember rightly, even the Leeds fans were like,
yeah.
It was so good.
You know what? There's a striker now, right, that we've had in the past, right, that I think would do really well in today's current system if he was like in his prime. Dennis Bergkamp, because he was technical on the ball. Like, it wasn't just a pace merchant. He wasn't just a lump. Like, the things that guy could do on the ball, off the ball, Jesus. Like, when it came to, like, technical ability, like, no one was better. I don't give a damn what anyone says. That man was up there with the best as far as technical ability goes.
Oh, yeah, he was just another level, wasn't he, mate? Fuck, mate.
Yeah,
best player I've seen play live.
Bro, you know how we call Haaland a freak? Dennis Bergkamp was the original freak.
Yeah.
Because even as he got older, he lost what pace he did have. He lost that. He adapted his game to what he was getting accustomed to.
That's what I'm saying, bro. Like, technically, he was better than anybody. He wasn't just a lump. He wasn't just a pace merchant. Like some people will lump Henry as a pace merchant, but he wasn't. He was technically good on the ball as well. Like, those two would smash it in this league, by the way. They would. Bergkamp and Henry would destroy in this league.
What about R9, says BX?
R9?
Which R9 are you talking?
Ronaldo.
He's like Ronaldo, isn't he?
No, but I mean, which version of him? Like Fat Ronaldo or...
No,
Prime Ronaldo.
18, 19-year-old Ronaldo was incredible, wasn't he?
Yeah, like they're two different people, even though they're legally the same person.
Yeah.
Bro, that version of Ronaldo, right?
Oh, mate.
Oh, my God, thank fuck for that.
Well, mate, how fucking... Mate, do you know what, right? I think Gabriel's fucking over. Yeah, again, mate, he's just... I don't know. Am I being harsh?
I don't think
he's being harsh. No.
He's not really been in the game, to be honest.
He might be one, mate, going into the season after, right, who could struggle for his pace if we got found the left-sided centre-back to go alongside.
Yeah. Gabriel, he has qualities, right? The one criticism I would have of Gabriel is his concentration.
He was different. He was totally different without Saliba, weren't he? But then again, I get that they've had a partnership all season. But I remember at the start of last season, I think he don't start seasons very quickly. I was quite critical of him, weren't I, right, for a few weeks, even at the start of last season, mate. But I don't know. I just think, though, as the seasons move on, if he don't raise his game, then Arteta might look at that position at one point.
Yeah.
But I do like him and Gabriel Saliba with each other. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah. I mean, it's like we were saying earlier, bro. It's not like you're saying, "Oh, Gabriel's shit" and this and that. It's like you're just noticing, like,
I've noticed it before.
Little flaws in his game that he's had. Right? It's not invalid, and it's like me and Gary were saying a few months ago. Right? if you don't keep up the pace of the project, you'll be gone.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Because we were saying that about Sambi, I think it was, and he wasn't really getting. He was okay. He had a few stars, but he didn't wow anybody. And this is right before his like loan move to Palace and stuff, and he just wasn't. He wasn't wowing anybody. Like, if you're not going to keep up with the project, mate, you'll be gone. Simple as that. Like, I don't really care much for like, individual players. I'm more about the overall like aspect of the team. And actually, on that, right, this is where because I'm sure you've all seen like the Mbappe.
Oh, we had the chance there, mate.
Like, I'm sure you've all seen the Mbappe stuff, right? Because everyone has. Like, if you haven't, what are you even living under?
What's going on?
Well, PSG have actually put him on the mark. Yeah, I know you're joking, but like, fuck it up. But like, PSG want rid of him, right? And then all of a sudden, like it's 2017, I see Mbappe trend to Arsenal trending again, and I'm like, for fuck's sake.
Nah, that shit ain't happening.
Maybe this is me being a tad bit stupid because it was late in the night and stuff. But I decided to put the opinion out there that I don't want Mbappe, right? And of course, all I get is the Mbappe fanboys coming at me saying, "Oh, how could you want this and this and that? At least he backs up his ego. Enjoy your 19 likes, your viral shit and stuff like that." Like, I give a fuck about that. And the reason why I put forth that I don't want him is because he's an individual. It's not about ability. It's about what he would do to the dressing room. We've all seen what he's done at PSG, where he's spit a dummy after and all that, not getting what he wants. How could anyone want that at Arsenal, even if he is like the best player in the world at one point? At what point do you put the dressing room atmosphere over one individual? Like,
I only see him going one place and one place only. Like, they'll make it somehow. Real Madrid will make it happen. Do you know what I mean? Like they always do.
Yeah. It's not going to happen. But from what I was like saying last night, I'm just like, I don't want Mbappe. Like, Real Madrid can have him. Like,
get open someone. Sorry.
No, go on.
No, it's at the throne. Everyone's taking forever to get open, basically. Get my head in. Go on in.
I stayed up for this shit. Fucking hell.
We like in the first half, we was really playing to our strengths.
Yeah.
You know, we like in the first, like getting Saka on the ball and all that, and getting into them areas. We really haven't done that whatsoever since they've scored. I think this one we're just going to have to kind of write off, I reckon.
Looks like it.
Yeah.
And we kept it like, this side's getting done all the time.
Like Sam's asking in the chat earlier in the chat, how the hell is Eddie still on the pitch?
I just don't get it, mate. Honestly, like I don't get it.
Bro, I don't even think standards like your traditional number 9s work with our system anyway. Like, I think false 9s are more.
Mate, you might laugh at me. I actually quite like Trossard when he played up there.
Bro, every time we play a false 9 striker up top with 2 wingers, we look amazing. That's not a coincidence.
I quite, mate, when Trossard did play out there, mate, him and Martinelli were getting a good link up as well. Like, look at that goal against Leicester away. Do you know what I mean?
No, I'm not even looking at that one. I'm not even looking at that one. I'm looking at that first half against Fulham at Craven Cottage, where Trossard absolutely tore them a new one. Like, that is some of the best. That is easily the best striking performance I've seen in over a decade at Arsenal. Legit. Like, it's not even close.
It's a bit. It makes you think a little bit, don't it, with that? Like, I think the problem was Jesus come back here, right? Jesus being Jesus and being like obviously what he did before. Like, obviously, we all wanted Jesus back, didn't we? But really, in a nutshell, Trossard should have stayed up top at that point. Because, like you say, that Fulham game, mate, he was incredible, and it weren't just a Fulham game, was it? There was other games as well, and like he he has some incredible amount of assists like that. Yeah. Oh, mate, look, what's that? Well done, Gabriel. But yeah, he had a incredible amount of assists, didn't he? He had about 9 or 10, I think, something like that.
Yeah.
I think he's one player who should be hard done by about like at the back end of last season because I don't think he deserves to be dropped whatsoever.
Yeah, I agree with that. There was a Man City game in the FA Cup as well where when he came on, he absolutely he was causing City's left side all sorts of problems.
Well, we've got Jorginho coming on, Fabio coming on, Smith coming on, and Trossard coming on. Eddie's going off.
But there's no way. You look at Trossard, look at Eddie Nketiah, right? And you sit there and go, which one? If I said to you, if I said to all four of you, or all three of you, sorry, which one would be up front? Who would you rather up front? You'd all say Trossard.
Yeah, I'd say Trossard.
Yeah, I'd totally say Trossard.
Nah, come on, Tom. You'd love a player like Trossard at Leeds. Come on, don't be bullshitting now.
I love to play like Eddie at Leeds. That's how our standards are.
Clever did wrong.
No, not $100,000 a week, mate. I was like, how much?
Wow.
Give us 25 million you can have him.
When Eddie scored against Brentford and they won us the game basically, and he was doing his phone, I was like, mate, you can fake advertise as many phone companies as you fucking want. If you keep doing that shit. And he did.
Who'd you rather have, Bamford or Eddie?
Oof, tough one.
God, I'd rather have Hitler than Bamford. Fucking hell.
God. How many goals?
What I see of him last year, he was pathetic.
Oh, when you got promoted to the Premier League, how many goals did Bamford get in the Premier League again?
16.
Not too bad. How many goals did Eddie get for years? Like overall?
Eddie scored I think he scored 6 goals for Leeds. To be fair though, he didn't play much.
He was on the bench a lot, weren't he?
Yeah. That's why he got recalled.
That's why he's fucking best places, mate, on the fucking bench. He's one of them people, isn't he? He just want to play under 21 football for the whole of his lifetime.
Yeah.
Because that's his level.
For League One, then.
Well, I wouldn't say League One. I'd say Championship because at least he scored goals in the Championship.
Yeah, he definitely. He did.
That cost us 40 million quid. That 40 million. That's ended up costing Leeds. Eddie getting recalled.
Oh my god!
It's not directly because on Arsenal, right? Because obviously I understand why he's called him back because he weren't playing enough. But the fact is, because Eddie got recalled, we then brought in another player that happened to be named Jean-Kevin Augustin. And basically, we brought him in. I don't know if you know the story. We brought him in. He played 48 minutes of football in the Championship for Leeds. Obviously, all loan contracts go to like 30th of June or whatever. But COVID happened. So if the loan contract basically was, if we get promoted, we're going to buy the player for 15 million or 16 million, sorry. So we got promoted and Red Bull Leipzig were basically like, lovely, give us our 16 million. And we went, yeah, but COVID happened and we got promoted on July the 19th. So I don't think we should have to pay it. And because obviously by that point, we knew he was dog shit because he turned up unfit. He's probably the fattest player the Championship has ever seen. And I'm sure Steve Ball played in it. But anyway, so basically they took us to court. I don't even get, we should have just paid them. Like, it was such bullshit. It was basically like, just pay it. Like, we're in the Premier League, we could get 200 million, just give them the 16 million, get on with our fucking lives. I mean, instead, we were like, no, we'll go to court and we'll argue this. So then we lost the court case, obviously, and we appealed it, and we lost. But then because we lost the appeal, he's now turned around and gone to FIFA and gone, well, I should be owed the wages that I would have got over the duration of my contract. And FIFA are like, you're right. Leeds, would you like to give Jean-Kevin Augustine the 25 million you owe him out of like 80 grand a week for 5 years? Brilliant.
Oh my God.
Brilliant.
Wow.
I'm so pleased with that. Marcelo could just played Eddie a bit more, saved us 40 million.
Well, she fucking did.
That is the most bizarre story I've ever heard in my life. What the
best
hell?
part of it is because most of it's born in the Championship, it never comes out anywhere. It's never going to be one of these, you know, you get like this weird stories like Bolton once signed, I don't know, Yuri Zhulkayev or whatever. And it'll be, do you remember when that happened? Because it happened in the Championship, you're never going to hear the time Leeds paid 40 million for a player that played for 48 minutes. So he nearly played more. We've nearly paid more in millions than minutes he played. Nearly.
Jesus
Ridiculous.
Christ.
Ridiculous. Yeah. Yeah. And it still took us 3 years to sack the director of football that sanctioned that, by the way.
What 3 years?
Yeah. Well, to answer that, Colonel, because we were so confident we'd win the court case, I don't know why, because from day one, I was like, we're going to lose this because we owe them the money. We agreed, along with Red Bull Leipzig, that both clubs would agree to waive the player's registration so he can go and play football elsewhere. Because otherwise he wouldn't have played for the whole time. Because we had no interest in playing him. They had no interest in playing him. So he went off and did his thing. I think he's now at Basel, But he's now turned FIFA and gone, well, if you're sanctioning the transfer that Leeds owe them the money, they owe me my wages, which we do.
Yeah.
If I was him and I'd played that 48 minutes, the way he played that 48 minutes, I'd be ashamed for it to go on the record by being paid it. But 24 million, something that I think you can waive away your pride, I suppose. But I'd just ask Leeds for 12 million if I was being honest. I'd give them a discount.
That's wild. Like, Jesus Christ.
It's a real thing. It's a real thing. Really happened. I think we're appealing the wages as well. Again, don't see the point. Just give them the money.
So, okay. Let me get this straight, right? Your new owners, right? I take all of this is still going on. Right, I take it all of this is still going on. Then.
I believe we're still challenging it. I think so.
Oh, Jesus. Okay, so your new owners, instead of, talking to the fans and kind of, putting their best foot forward to kind of get into their good graces, are going, actually, let's challenge something from years ago and waste all of our time on that instead of what really matters in the current present day. Is that the gist of it?
I can get that they're going to challenge it because they're going to be on the hook for 25 million that they never actually agreed to, are they? Of course they're going to challenge it. They're going to be like, why should we pay it? But they were they were minority owners at the time, so they know this is a thing.
Wow.
They've owned 44% since, well, for the last 2 years, let's say. So they're well aware that this is a thing. I mean, but football's weird, and we had one director of football and no one else on the board that understood anything about football, and that only works if your director of football knows about football, which he clearly doesn't. And he'd just sit there and go, it was my idea to bring in Marcelo Bielsa. It's like, you're just lucky that you both speak the same language.
Yeah. You struck gold with Bielsa. You really did.
Of course it is.
This whole thing it's wild to it doesn't make any sense.
Nope.
I'm trying to I can't. I'm not gonna say how it feels for Leeds fans. I don't know how it would feel.
Go on, sorry.
I can't wrap my brain around this. I'm not going to like speak for Leeds fans or like that I know like what they're thinking and stuff. But like, if that was me, I'd just be going like, "What the fuck is going on?" Like, just I don't know that's up there with the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life.
I've had arguments with Leeds fans that were like, well, we got promoted after the date on the contract, so we shouldn't have to pay it. And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? It doesn't account for COVID or things like that. Of course we owe them the money. But no, there were Leeds fans that genuinely felt we were right to challenge it, and I couldn't believe what I was hearing.
It's being biased, though, isn't it?
It is what it like. You'll get fans like this at every club. You will. Like, for instance, there's tons of fans like this at Arsenal as well, where you argue over stupid stuff. Like, just
mate.
Yeah, but imagine we paid the money, the 16 million, and then just loaned him out somewhere for 4 years or whatever it is. It's like, yeah, you're making a massive loss on him, but you're not making a 40 million loss.
Yeah.
And he might get into shape. Something good might come of it. I don't know. But just 40 million on 48 minutes, and we're still in the championship, or we're back in the championship. Just incredible.
Wow.
Just.
I mean, I would have questioned why he's showing up like to training in such like an unfit kind of state. Like, first and foremost.
Oh,
like
I made a decision. Sorry, carry on.
No, God.
No,
I know your decision.
that's a shit one. Don't worry, carry on.
Kind of feel it's been built up now, kind of. All right. I was only just going to get more surprised at decisions that I already know my team made, but they're so shit that they're constantly surprising. I remember he came on in a game against Nottingham Forest, and I thought, who's the fat guy that you've allowed onto the pitch? Because that ain't the guy in the YouTube videos that I've been watching. Because
God.
I was like, why have you brought on the Black Michelin Man, kind of? Because just I don't know, I was just upset.
Wow.
When it Souness, when didn't someone play for him who claims to be George Ware's cousin or something? Yeah. But how the fuck did he get through training to get onto the pitch?
That's interesting. I know this story because I only know this because the match was against Leeds. So I'll tell you what happened. Basically, he phones up and says he's George Ware's cousin, and they went, "Oh, this could be promising," which to me is a big red flag because that would be like me getting legal advice from a lawyer's brother. I mean, why does being George Ware's cousin mean you're good at football?
Yeah.
Like, what's that got to do with the price of milk in Denmark on a Tuesday? Like, it's nothing. But so basically, they asked him to come in for training. And at the time, they had no indoor complex. It was just training in the park, like a training pitch. And it turned out it was raining. So they never did training. But they still registered him anyway.
What?
And
okay.
That's how, yeah.
They never. Okay, first, they registered him without training. Like, what?
Yes. And the only reason I know that that's a plausible story is because why would you watch him play football and then still register him?
Fuck
wow.
Yeah.
Would you?
I mean, this is unbelievable.
That's wild, man. Fucking hell.
And
I'd love to.
Come on. Come on. And then got subbed about 20 minutes later.
I'd have loved to have been in that dressing room after the game.
Right? Even
Oh.
better, right? Just be like a fly on the wall. Legit. Just be a fly on the wall. So you
I
can
bet Souness must have gone fucking mental.
I bet he laughed. What else can you do but laugh at that and go like, what the fuck were we thinking? Just
that just sounds.
Oh no!
I mean, that couldn't happen now because, like, you'd be like, "Where's your YouTube video? Why aren't there 20 YouTube videos of you doing skills?"
It never happened now, would it?
Nah, but back in the Stone Age of 1997, you just. I'm George. I should have just phoned him up and gone. Oh yeah, you see. Oh, what's his name? Steve Stone. Yeah, I've got no hair and he's got no hair. Cousins. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Just give me some game time, Graham. And he'd have gone, all right. Clearly, because it's done it before. So, but nah,
I was listening to one the other day. Apparently, old Neil Warnock. You hear that one that he some geezer done some work for him at home, and he said joking around and goes you won't need to. I'm not sure if he paid him or what it was. He goes, but if you give me a run out, and he got him in a run out for a friendly for the last 20 minutes, just so he got a freebie. Imagine doing that now.
Fucking hell.
The player. Who's this?
That's just chaotic. In every
It
sense. I'm struggling to wrap my brain around this, right? Because it's just so ridiculous. Like, how do you register someone without them training first? Like, it just doesn't make any sense. Like, it just sounds like an utter shit show. Like,
I think in their mind it was, if he's even half as good as George Ware, we're getting him for free, so we can sell him for good money. I think that's what they thought. What else could it be?
That's insane. It's just like,
it is
okay,
insane.
He might be as good as George Weah was. He might be half as good as George Weah was, and he could go, oh, we could do this with him, we could do that with him. Okay, you turn up to training overweight, cool. Have you registered with the fucking? Have you trained? No. Okay, we'll register you anyway. You come onto the pitch like bloated. Oh, you did all right. Like, what the fuck is that? Like, it just doesn't make any sense. Like,
it's like turning up for a job interview and then not checking your references. Like, you could be anybody.
Yeah.
I'd say this to be one fucking boring second half, though, isn't it? Let's be honest. Jesus Christ.
It's just petered out, man.
It's bad enough when the highlights some geezer who fucking pretends to be George Ware's cousin. Do you know what I mean? Just a conversation.
Wait, let's be honest, right? This entire conversation has been the highlight of this stream. Let's be real about it. This game's been dog shit.
And I'll tell you something else. I think that kit's that I've decided, that's my decision. This kit I can't be having.
It's unlucky, no.
It's hurt my fucking head watching it. It hurts my head, mate, even watching a minute.
What is it like? Is it on the level of the blue away kit from 2018? Is that what you're going on about?
It's up there, mate. It's up there. We performed today like the ones in 2018.
Oh Jesus!
Or I will blame Eddie for how this transpired, because if Eddie had played 10% better at Leeds, he'd have played more, which would have saved Leeds 40 million quid, which would have meant this discussion would have been more about Arsenal.
Wow.
All
I'll say, Tom, yeah, is that it's not our fault that your board's a shit show.
That's true. That is true.
Oh.
Yeah, Smith almost scored, but yeah, got cleared off the line by.
Oh, lucky Sarah ain't down here, isn't it? She'd be mocking him.
Oh. So we're getting next week with Barcelona. Jesus Christ.
Is it next
What
Saturday?
time's that?
I actually talked with Richard.
Wednesday or Thursday, isn't it?
Oh,
Yeah, it's midweek. I know that.
I think it's like 1 o'clock. Fuck that.
3:30 a.m.
3:30 a.m.
I won't be watching
Fuck
it.
that. Fuck that. I'm not doing that shit.
Early start for me on Wednesday.
Nah, mate.
Bro,
about 2 hours
seriously,
sleep on
like...
It was bad enough tonight, mate. She's got work tomorrow, and he'll be up at 5:30. And I've got to be up at 5:30 tomorrow morning thinking about this game.
Oh, they're bringing back the Emirates Cup, though, apparently.
Yeah, just think of it this way. Just when you do get up, come downstairs, get Sky on, go on to the catch-up setup where it has all the retros, Sky Retro, Arsenal Wigan, Arsenal Man United from 2002. Switch it on for 90 minutes. Don't blank this out.
So
that's usually what I do, mate.
Yeah.
So this
That's
game, right, is exactly
United.
why I don't watch preseason, because ultimately I know what I'm getting. I'm like, you're not going to get like this.
Oh no, this won't be the same. This won't be the same performance-wise. What we're getting is what.
No,
this won't be the same performance we're going to get against when we play United in the fourth game of the season.
nope.
We'll be fully ready to
different.
go.
Do you know, it sat there and just dawned on me, right? Well, it hasn't just dawned on me, but like out there. And when you start thinking about the number 10s, we've got so many number 10s, haven't we?
Just a few.
Yeah, and we don't actually play a number 10.
No.
Play 2 8s, which is wild.
I can't wait till like the American tour's over, because then you kind of see like who's going out the door. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
afterwards, yeah. Looks like Balogun's on his way out.
He's definitely on his way out, mate. Not even getting anything here, mate. Do you know what I mean? He's definitely gone.
So where do you realistically expect to finish this season?
First,
Top 4, definitely.
I'd say second.
Yeah, I think top 2 again. Everyone's picking up Liverpool.
I don't think second's like completely unrealistic. I don't expect Liverpool to be as shit as they were last season. They might be, but I don't expect them to be.
The thing is that
they'll be much better this year.
Well, this is the thing. They've gone out and got
the only teams I kind of think will be absolutely shit in that top 6 will be Chelsea and Tottenham. Outside of that, I think Man United will be. I think Man United will be good this year. I think Liverpool will be. I think it's going
to
be hard for Newcastle to replicate the same form as last year, especially now they're in the Champions League as well.
Yeah, that. The only thing with Newcastle is that Champions League kind of run, like how they do in that. I think they've made good signings. Tonali for 70 million is class, but it depends on who else they bring in, because they've been relatively quiet the last couple of weeks.
I think it's a financial fair play though. They can only spend a certain amount of money, can't they?
Yeah. I mean, there's the rumor right now is that Maximin could be going to Saudi Arabia. This Saudi shit, right? This needs to be looked into, because all of a sudden Saudi clubs are buying from Premier League teams. It's wild. You've got Henderson on 700 grand a week. What is going on with that? It's crazy.
Yeah.
Whatever amount of money Newcastle need to pass financial fair play is the amount of money that mysteriously Maximum will go to Saudi Arabia for.
Probably.
Just by complete coincidence.
Yeah, it's a bit dodgy, but then again, everyone's done dodgy deals at some point.
No, of course.
Yeah.
There seems to be some really not happy play faces there, mate. Saka on that.
There's a penalty shootout, apparently. Colonel saying, let's win the penalties.
Who wants a fucking penalty shootout now? Do you know what I mean?
This makes
This
no
is a
sense to
miracle.
me.
This is a miracle all over.
This makes zero sense to me.
It's like next goal wins, isn't it? He goes, don't matter if you won 2-0, mate. Whoever wins penalty shootout wins the game.
Win it overall.
This is like, bro, this fucking shit is pointless. Why penalties? We've lost 2-0. All right, you win the penalty shootout. What do you win? A penalty shootout trophy. Great. It's not a fucking trophy.
We have to show the. We have to. If we wouldn't
I'd be surprised if we win the shootout, even, mate. Do you know what I mean?
No, if we win the penalty shootout,
even if
we
we
have to
win
show
the
the
penalty
trophy.
shootout, bro, I'm not going to be celebrating it. Like, do you know what? The only team that would celebrate winning a penalty shootout when you've lost 2-0 is Tottenham. Because then they go, because then we've got, we've won the penalty shootout cup or the Audi Cup and shit like that. Yeah. Fuck off.
This is embarrassing, isn't it? Fuck me, mate. I've had enough,
mate. The thing is, for us to win this,
can someone explain this penalty shootout after a loss to me? Because I don't get it. Like, I don't. Can someone explain this to me?
It's an American. It's an American thing. It's America.
Gotta do penalties, bro. Gotta maximize the entertainment for all the people that paid lots of money to be here, bro. America. Fuck yeah.
Dude.
Like, they must be sitting there, the players, thinking, fuck this. Honestly. Like, you've just been beaten 2-0, yeah, right? And then it's like, you got to go and take some penalties now, chaps.
It's not your fault, Colonel. You didn't decide this. You decide, by the way.
No, that is your fault, Colonel. You literally found America and you went, demand penalties. Tom wants to go to bed, but fuck it. Fuck him. Give us penalties. That's exactly what happened. Until you prove that you didn't, I'm going to say that you did.
Oh dear God!
Fuck Tom.
If we win the shootout, mate, I'm regarding it. We won the game. Do you know that?
Yeah,
penalty shootout.
Tom, are Leeds on like an American tour, or where are they going? Like, I know they play Monaco tomorrow, but are they like?
No, we got banned from the American tour. We were supposed to be on one, but then basically, as soon as they got wind that we might actually get relegated, America were a bit like, I don't know if we like that. I think we're going to replace you with Fulham. We got bumped for Fulham. That would be like Pamela Anderson getting bumped for Fern Britain.
Do you know what? I've got a theory why you got kind of gone off for Fulham, right? I've got a theory.
He ain't saying fucking mate.
Tom, I've got a theory as to why you got dropped for Fulham.
Right? He ain't saying fuck all, mate.
Because Fulham's owners, right, they're basically mega rich, right? So they can bribe people. Plus, they're American anyway.
Yeah.
So that's probably the reason.
Can you imagine, if we went on
this... American too.
Come on, Odegaard. Come on, Odegaard.
Can you imagine if we won the shootout and we started celebrating it after?
Oh, mate, I'd hold my head in shame if we started celebrating. Like, come on.
Big old bundle. Big old bundle.
It's going to be the only penalty shootout in history where no one knows how to celebrate after, because it's like,
you won, but you've lost the game.
You just walk off, wouldn't you?
I wouldn't give a damn if we won this. It's like, all right, you won a penalty shootout. Don't celebrate though, because it's fucking pointless. Like, come on.
It'd be like that scene.
Mate, I'd be shameless. I'd bundle.
In the office. It'd be like that scene in the office when the team wins, and then he throws the shoe over the pub and then goes, and that's the real quiz.
Mate, he was brilliant in that, weren't he?
I'll fucking dive the right way. Bloody hell, man.
I would lose my shit if Arsenal win the penalty shootout and Arteta gets on the microphone and goes, and that's the real quiz.
Mate, I'll be very surprised if Ramsdale saves a penalty. If I'm being totally honest, I haven't seen him save a penalty yet.
Honestly, I'm just this whole game, right? I know it's Man United and everything else, and you kind of want it to be competitive, right? But let's be honest, this game hasn't been competitive at all.
No, both teams have been crap.
Like-
it was just crapper. It was just more crapper. The
Yeah.
final third.
Like, it's just no, they don't really care. It's more or less just
Trossard,
to get fitness levels up. Like
Come on, Trossard.
the game in the Premier League is going to be a lot more intense than this.
He's going to miss, isn't he? Don't tell me he's going to miss.
No, he doesn't.
Oh, he nearly did as well, mate.
Very short run up. That's all I'm saying.
Jesus, mate.
2 steps and it goes. There you go. Have it. Lindelof now for United, stepping up against Ramsdale. Ramsdale at least dived right away. At least.
Seeing
I
as
tell you,
this
he's good at
penalty
taking
shootout
penalties. He's old Harry, and Maguire's not a bad penalty kick taker, is he? I think it's the only thing he can do.
Yeah, he just books it with
He's shocking at the back, but he's all right with penalties.
Stick in the top corner for you.
Down the middle. Mate,
He won't save a penalty.
Shootout,
Mate, I'm telling you, mate, he won't save a penalty, mate. He will not save a fucking penalty.
As this shootout is quite clearly bollocks, Arteta and Ten Hag should be knocked.
they should drop off.
They should fucking turn up. They should both take the 5th penalty, shouldn't they?
Oh, Fabio's
there
taking one.
needs to be something even more douchey about it.
Right, we're losing.
because-
We're going to lose. Fabio's taking one. Fabio Vieira's taking one.
Jesus.
Brace yourselves.
He ain't had much go on for him, has he, really? Poor chap.
It's just low, man. No matter what happens in this penalty, they're slowing the bastard out.
Well, there's no way he's getting in that team now, is there?
Nice.
We say that Eddie's in the team, so.
He's off it.
Oh, he's sliding the prick.
Of course he's missed it, mate.
Fucking moron.
Mate, the geezer just needs to fuck off, mate. Honestly. Honestly, mate.
Prick out.
He's not it, mate. He's not. He's just.
He's an absolute fucking mate, honestly.
Skied it.
Fucking hell.
You know what? You want to give players a chance, right? But Fabio Vieira.
Hey, look at him, mate. He's got nothing in him, mate. Look at him. I just look at him, mate.
Fabio Vieira, right, has done absolutely fuck all at Arsenal, and every time he's played, it's like he's weak. Like, I know some people will joke.
Ramsdale.
I told you that, Ryan, mate. He will not save a penalty, mate. There's no chance he will save a penalty.
That's fucking awful, by the way.
And that's bad to say, mate, because he's our number 1 goalkeeper.
Mm.
But he hasn't even moved there.
No, he's literally okay on the knee.
Mate, do you know what, mate? Honestly, Vieira.
I'm done with him. I'm done with him.
You know what? Who's going to take him based on what they've seen at Arsenal?
He's one of those players that, you bring in, you hope he'll do something. He doesn't. You loan him out for like a year or 2, and then you sell him. Like, that's it.
We're going to take a loss on that as well.
Yep. Fuck it though.
Yeah.
I can't remember season.
Do you know what's most annoying about that? The fact that, because again, he was highly rated when he was at Porto as well.
Yeah.
Like, everyone was raving about him. And now it's just, nah. Like, he's not going to be an 8. He never will be. Like, the only position I could even see him playing
he
is
fucking
right
scored
wing.
it.
Dive. Just dive. Don't just stand there on the spot.
Mate,
dive.
They don't give a shit. That's the problem. They don't give
Mate, I said there, mate, before the first kick, he would not save a penalty, mate. He would not save a fucking penalty. The only way, right? The only way that a penalty don't get scored past him is if they hit the post or it goes over, like Bruno Fernandes that time. That's the only fucking way, mate. He ain't saving a penalty.
Bro,
Well, I don't know what it is with us as well, mate. It was like Petr Cech. He couldn't save a fucking penalty, could he? Like, no one can save a penalty for us. I think he saved one in the end for Troy Deeney, but we never fucking save penalties, mate.
No. I've switched off now. Wow. I know it's a friendly and all that.
I don't even think Fabio will be here long, you know. I really don't. I think Arteta will be at the end of his rope with him. Like it's not like he's not giving him chances. He's giving him plenty chances. So I think Arteta will just be like, look, you either step up or you're gone. Like
he won't
say that public. He won't say that publicly, right? But what he'll do is he'll say it behind the scenes, and like, you either step up or you're gone. I don't give a damn.
No,
he hurts my head. He hurts my head for you, right? He really hurts my head. I just look at him, right, and I don't see nothing in him. Like the way he just walked off after that penalty miss. You just look at him and you think, you're not cut out for it. You're just not cut out for it. You're just clearly not cut out for it.
No. I don't
the best one, mate. The best one is when who was we playing? I think it was the game against Bournemouth when we ended up coming back and winning 3-2. But he started that game, didn't he? And he was trying to fucking rev up the fans, and the fans like, fuck off, mate. Do you know what I mean? Fucking sort yourself out before you start trying to rev up the fans.
Mate, he's just again. He's not a midfielder. He never will be. He's either a winger or a 10. And to be honest, like, if you're going through our wingers, does he get ahead of Saka? No.
Hell no.
Does he get ahead of Trossard? No.
Nope.
Does he get ahead of Martinelli? No. Does he get ahead of Reece Nelson? No. Like, what does he actually offer? Like, you want to give him a chance, right? But there's only so much you can deal with before you're like, nah. Like, you know how we were talking about Havertz earlier, right? The reason why we're not going as we're kind of leaning back a little bit on Havertz, right, is because he's just arrived. Fabio Vieira has been here for like a year and a half. We should have seen something in that time. We haven't, and now we're just like, you know what? Fuck it. We're at the end of our rope here. Loan him out or sell him. We don't care. Like, we don't want you, bro.
He's played all 3 preseason games. Nuremberg, MLS All-Stars. That says it all. Non-existent there. And tonight, what has he actually done in them 3 games to justify even coming on? Let alone starting a game. He ain't done nothing. At the end of the day, that's a pre-season friendly, but we need a squad. We want to show people that last year wasn't a fluke and one-off. We need to get players like him at the door. They're going to hold us back. Because what benefit, even in Champions League, what benefit does he give us in Champions League? Nothing.
No.
Yeah.
Absolutely none.
I remember when he played against Sporting, right, when he started in midfield, he was fucking dreadful in that game as well.
I was at that game.
Every time he plays, right? Well, okay, especially during the Europa League, right? Because he played largely played the Europa League in the Cup last season, right?
Yeah.
Every time I looked at the starting 11 for those games, and I've seen Fabio Vieira in midfield, I'm just like, don't really know about this, but I'll give it a chance. And with every game that went on, I'm like, don't really know if that's a good idea. I'd rather you push him to the wing. And then it gets to a point where you're just like, he's not going to do shit. Like, it's expected at this point. I don't think anyone expects anything from Fabio Vieira at this point.
Yeah.
I don't. Do any of you expect anything from him at this point?
No. I'm happy with him to go. Get him at the door, even if it's a loan, 18-month run like that. Just get him at the door. He doesn't benefit us as a club or a squad. He keep him on our books.
No.
I feel sorry for Gary Moore. He is now going to need to find a creative way of creating an intro from that. We bet Ray Parner and Lauren. That's his he can use that, I assume, part of his intro video now.
He went to the Tottenham game last year, and he was like, "Every time I see Arsenal, they win." He never ever said that, but for purpose, he'll pretend he did. And then now Arsenal are like, "Okay, but now we're going to give you 2 defeats in one night." And Gary's like, "Cheers."
Oh,
I'll tell you,
one in front. No, it's 2 behind. So. But he met Ray Parlour, so swings and roundabouts.
He met 2 Invincibles in one night. What can he ask for?
Yeah. He met someone that did a Jaeger bomb when the Queen died. Don't know how many of you can say that, but Gary's met someone that did that for the Queen. So.
The thing is, only Ray Parlour could do that. It'd be he's Ray Parlour, so it's okay.
I loved how serious he did it. There was not one bit of laughter on his face, as if like, this is really fucking absurd. Like he really believed it. Like genuine tribute. I was like, Ray Parlour, but still.
All I can see now on my TV is thanks for watching. Fuck off. No, nothing good about watching that shit tonight.
No, as I said, when you wake up tomorrow, just get Sky and get the Sky Retro game up. I may not be asked 2002 in the old goal kit, Silver and Viltord. That'll quash all this bullshit.
I love your kit with Sega on it. It probably is the same one.
Yeah, the gold one. Gold Sega.
Yeah, because it was like, we're going to be a bit crafty and have Sega on one, Dreamcast on the other. It's like, yeah, there's the same thing. Same thing.
Yeah, so we can do what we want.
That was peak though. Do you know what? The Dreamcast was actually kind of popular during those days. I mean, it died shortly after that, but that's not the point. The Sega Dreamcast was it 2001? I think.
Yeah, give or take 2001. Yeah.
Like, because what was it? The PlayStation was like coming to the end of its cycle, and I think Nintendo had the GameCube around that point as well. And Sega were like, Nintendo and Sony want to go about this and that. All right, we'll just release our shit. Now it was fun, right? Because I still remember like the days of me playing Rayman on the Dreamcast. That shit was fun, but ultimately it died a slow death because then Sony came out with the PlayStation 2, and then Microsoft came out with the Xbox and just blew everyone out of the water. So that's what it is.
Yeah, but it weren't the computers that killed it. What actually killed the Dreamcast, to say one sentence, was they went, "We've got Dreamcast, we've got blah blah blah, we've got internet on our thing," and PlayStation went, "Yeah, but we've got a DVD player in our PlayStation 2," and then everyone went, "Games and DVD." And then everyone forgot Sega. Dead in the water. Dead.
Yeah. And even with Xbox, they had the whole the DVD converter thing with the original Xbox.
I
right?
had it. Yeah.
Which, to be honest, I found kind of stupid because
if you remote for it.
If you were trying to compete with Sony, right, which is what they were trying to do, right? You don't try and sell a separate component just so you can play DVDs. Like, it was a bit dumb. Like, okay, well, actually, no. My Xbox kept on crashing because certain games wouldn't fucking work for whatever reason. I don't know why, but that's what it was. But I remember like I think it was around November, where I would bitch and moan to my parents about getting me the DVD shit because, like a sucker, I didn't want to get the PlayStation 2 because the Xbox was like the thing with all my mates and stuff, right? And, we got it. I used it once or twice, and then I never used it again because I just kept on playing the games on the original Xbox, the ones that worked anyway. And I sold it for a PlayStation 2 about a few months later.
Oh, dude, this sums up. This is a tweet from Jones just going through Twitter while you guys are chatting. There's no free points lost, no cup loss, no meaning, just a pointless money spinning friendly. All I care about is 12th of August at 12:30. Obviously, get something first. Everyone else is losing their minds, obviously.
I mean, I'm not.
No,
I was
obviously,
about to say you should probably avoid Twitter at the moment because obviously it's pretty much exactly the way you're probably expecting it to be.
Yeah.
I'm not even going on there, mate. It hurts my fucking head, mate. Honestly.
It's a dead platform, bro. It's a dead platform. Like I seen last night, right, that they're limiting the amount of DMs that people can send now. Like, seriously, fuck off. Like the only reason I keep Twitter around is to push the shit on my channel. Apart from that, like if that would, and to be honest, I'm not even sure it's worth keeping around for that reason. Because okay, I have that to push my shit around, but like I don't really care for it. I don't use it outside of that. Like it's just a dead platform, bro. It's dead.
Just people that are angry in life. It is the people that are angry. All you see on there is negativity. When do you ever see something positive for someone? You don't, do you?
Very rarely, bro. Very rarely. Like I was it or wasn't all I've seen in the last, I don't know, couple of days is just bitching and moaning about certain things. Mbappe fanboys, which annoy the ever living shit out of me, because there's certain people like in life that you can't criticize or have an opinion on. Mbappe is one of them, because if you criticize Mbappe, all of a sudden you're seen as like public enemy number one or like the devil or something. I don't know. It's weird. Like, really is. But like, Twitter's pointless.
Did you
because
reply to what I'm saying? Not after they talk to you. I mean, your little positive response to something, or do people back pay into Twitter and then
do you know what?
Once they don't like?
Do you know what, bro? See, when you criticize Mbappe, right? And all I said was I didn't want him at Arsenal because of because of the way he acted at PSG. That's all I said, right? And that was because of like the good harmony we've got in the dressing room, right?
Yeah.
Is there anything wrong with that opinion to you guys?
No. It was unclear.
Right?
Not overly,
when
no.
I said that, right? All I got was, oh, at least Mbappe backs his ego up. Enjoy your viral tweet. Or how dare you criticize Mbappe? He's God's gift to football. Or how dare you? He's better than Ronaldo and Ronaldinho and all this shit. And I'm like, fuck off. Like, nah, I'm not being funny, but Mbappe couldn't lace prime Ronaldo's boots. Let's be honest about it. And as far as Ronaldinho goes, if you put Ronaldinho in this current climate of football, right, he would destroy everybody. He was that good.
Yeah.
Mbappe is just one of those players who he's good ability-wise, he's fantastic, but mentally, bro, he's got the mentality of an 11-year-old child, legitimately. Like when you give a player like that the power that he has at PSG, where he's able to pick the manager, pick the first team, and basically decide who gets sacked and who doesn't, what else do you expect? What else do you expect to happen? Oh, your contract's expiring. Guess what? I'm going to put the same shit I did the year before. Who wants a player like that?
It's a shame they didn't realise that 3 years ago when they could have sold him for 200 million to Real Madrid.
Yep.
2 years ago, sorry.
Yeah. Like
they only said no to try and win this dick measuring contest where it was like, we don't need your money. It's like, yeah, but you should still take it.
Yeah, please.
you should still take it just to you'll regret it if you don't, for a start, like you are now. Like, what's the buyer's remorse except for you're the seller that said no? Like, just they're terrible at business. PSG. I'm just gonna say that.
Yeah. To be honest, mate, the whole thing is a shit show. PSG are fucking idiots for rejecting 200 million in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
And Mbappe himself is a shithead. Like, I'm not going to say something stupid like he's overrated, because I think to be overrated, you have to, you know, in terms of ability, Mbappe is probably better than anyone, right? But in terms of his attitude and his, you know, just overall personality, like, there's certain players you can't stand, and he's one of them.
Yeah, I mean, he's won a World Cup and things like that. So you can't, sit there and he was a key part of them winning that. So you can't, sit there and be like you say, overrated, because he's obviously not, but he's a tosser.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to say he's overrated, because what he did with Monaco was fantastic. But as time's gone on, he's proven to be a dickhead. So, nah, I'm never going to like Mbappe. Like, in the same way I don't like Balotelli. You know what I mean? Balotelli, when he was signed by City, like, ability-wise, great. But he was an utter shithead. And no one likes Balotelli. And it's for that reason. Like, you wouldn't sign Balotelli to your club when he was in his prime, would you? Because you know he'd fuck up the dressing room. Same with Mbappe.
It would have been funny, though, if when Real Madrid offered the 200 million, if PSG had gone, yes. Because it's like, do you even have 200 million to give them for a footballer? Like, I know they've smashed the transfer record, but multiple times. But generally speaking, you tried to push for a Super League so you could get more money, which tells me you don't really have enough to compete with everyone else right now.
Well, Real Madrid are backed by a state and whatnot. Like, no one knows which, but they are backed by a state, so technically they could, if they really wanted to. But with this, because the Super League came about during the whole COVID season, right? So it was kind of like their way to. I don't think they needed the money. It was more or less just them going, you know what? There's no fans in the stadium. Football's still going on. We don't need fans, and we can make loads of money regardless without them. I think it was just sheer arrogance that they wanted to do it. I don't think it was a case of them not having money. Because if Real Madrid wanted to, they could buy anyone in the world because they're backed by a state.
Yeah, but they don't want to spend their own money. They'd rather spend the TV company's money.
Yeah, that's the point. That's why they did it, because of arrogance. Like, if they wanted to, they could. If they wanted to, they could have bought Mbappe for 200 million. They could have done. Because they put that bid up and PSG rejected it. But it wasn't technically Real Madrid's money, like you were saying. It was state money. Like, it all stinks, bottom line. Like, the game is corrupt as a whole. And to be honest, I don't enjoy the game in general now, because it's just become so saturated with all this money BS and all the marketing and shit, and it's just utter crap. Like, I'll still keep an eye on Arsenal games and stuff like that. But if I've got something else going on that's of more importance to me than an Arsenal game, obviously I'm going to do what's more important to me. You know what I mean? Like, I don't live and breathe Arsenal like I used to, because it's just one of those where I'm just like, so what? I don't really care. Like, I don't know. The game's just gone saturated for me. It's hard to enjoy it now. It really is.
Well, you might end up when the 115 charges are finally raked over. you might find yourself that you won the league last year, maybe.
Yeah. I don't think that's happening, bro.
I don't think it will really. Would you
Man
really
City
want?
have got
Would
enough
you
money.
really want to be handed it when you know really you finished second?
Nah, bro, nah. Like, I'd want to earn it. Like, you know what I mean? I'm not one of
Exactly.
these people that would just be happy with a handout. Like, if I found out that we won the league via a handout, right? I'm not saying I would be disappointed, but I wouldn't feel the same way as if we had earned it by going through 38 games over the course of a season. Like,
Of course.
if we'd won it over 38 games, right? I legitimately would cry my eyes out because it's been so long. But if I found out we won it via a handout, I'd be like, so what?
I say that, right? Or like you say that. But when lockdown occurred and I had to sit there for 2 months we're top of the table, but we've got 9 games to go, I was sat there thinking, wouldn't be the worst thing in the world if they decided to cancel the season and just promote Leeds. Like that's a handout I could have stomached if I'm being totally honest. I mean, obviously deep down I wouldn't have, but
Didn't
I would accept it.
Global pandemic, points deduction. Slightly different, obviously, but I get what you're saying, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the prize was a lot different, like in a different way. It's like I've not actually watched my team in the Premier League for nearly 2 decades. I actually don't care if we get. I mean, we were still top of the table, so it ain't like you're like literally handing us something that you get what I mean. It's not like it'd be different if like they then swapped around, so Arsenal are now top and Man City are second because of their financial thing. You wouldn't really feel like you won it. You might think you morally won it because you conducted yourself in a financial, responsible way. But deep down, you know you had less points. Whereas we still had most points. So if they'd have just gone, fuck it, cut it, and we'll promote that team, and that team, I'll have been like, Because deep down, I actually thought when we come back from lockdown, we'd fuck it up and not get promoted. Because
that would be so Leeds at the time.
You don't want to hand it, but equally, like, I mean, all right, if Man City were going to get deducted, like, you know, with their titles stripped and all this nonsense and, like, be relegated down the leagues and stuff, which, by the way, again, have to make clear, that ain't fucking happening. Because if it was, it would have happened right when the charges came out. If that were to happen, I'd almost prefer it to happen after a season had concluded, especially considering the fact that we were in the middle of the season when the charges were like brought up, right? I wouldn't want to be kind of gifted the title at that point because, I mean, all right, everyone would probably just say, oh, you're chatting shit and stuff. But it's not a case of chatting shit. You want to feel like you've earned it. And if we'd gone toe-to-toe with Man City and come out like the victor in the end, I know we didn't, but if we'd come out like, you know, top of the league at the end of the season, I'd probably go like, yeah, we fucking earned that. And we deserve it. And I'd probably end up crying my eyes out. But again, I don't want to be handed shit because that's not why I got into football in the first place. Like, in fact, you don't want to be handed anything in life. You want to feel like you've earned shit. You know what I mean? Like, for example, what's an example you use? Like, okay, recently, right? I passed my theory test, right, for my driving shit, right? Now, the reason that happened is because I put the work in for it. If I'd just been handed that, I'd probably feel like shit. Because I'd be like, I didn't put the work in for this. Why are you giving me this?
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, I prefer to do. I prefer to do the hard work and earn shit than be handed something. Like, no, I don't ever want to win the league like that. No.
Yeah. Just before we wrap things up, though, I've got a couple whilst I'm going across Twitter. West Ham fans getting very mouthy all of a sudden. This is from E20 Zone TV, who had on the channel back end of last season. It was at he put Declan. He says it was at this moment he knew he fucked up with a laughing emoji face. Bullshit,
bro.
West Ham fans are being salty. Like, come on,
bro.
When he was on the channel, he said we expect him to go, and when he goes, he has a full blessing. He'll be happy no matter where he goes. And second he goes to someone in a London rival, they're bitching at him at every moment. It's like, Jesus Christ! Again, it's a friendly, for fuck's sake. Not like it's a competitive game.
They receive the most money they're ever likely to receive for a player.
Yeah, they'll never receive that money ever again. That's all level.
Bro, honestly, who cares what West Ham think? They want to. It's like I said before. They want to force a rivalry, right? But it's not that. It's like what Aston Villa tried to do with Smith Rowe. It's not a rivalry. It never will be. Like, we'll see what happens during the season, but I can guarantee you West Ham finish in the bottom half of the table.
And with that, we are going to tap out because Liam's got to be up in a few hours' time for his little one. So
yeah, you're right. I need to go to sleep, mate.
Good feel for you, mate.
Good shot, bro.
Fair play to you for tonight. Thanks for coming on. Appreciate it. And obviously, we'll see you.
Right,
Might see you at Wembley, actually, because you're going to Wembley, aren't you?
Yeah, I'll be there, mate. I'll see you there.
Yeah, we might organise something before or after to meet up and all. Let's catch up.
Yeah.
And then a week later for the Forest game. Woohoo, yay. Not I am now, that one. But anyway, apart from that, guys, in terms of the Arsenal watch-alongs, we will be back on Wednesday, stupid o'clock morning, 3:30 a.m. I'll be getting up, stupid o'clock. So you best come and help me out and get food in the first few hours of the day. And Arsenal better turn up with better performance. Yeah, I'll do it. Obviously, I'll go sleep. I'll get a few hours sleep before then, and I'll set my alarm for like 3 o'clock and go live or whatever.
Stock up on cappuccinos, bro. That's all I'm gonna say. Stock up on cappuccinos.
Oh yeah, I'm fully prepared. I've even got my little Arteta mark.
Oh yeah, there we go.
Anyone who wants to get me, go get Standard Man on Twitter. Standard Man on Twitter. Go and check him out. That's where I got that from. Decent price there.
I got one off him as well, which now it doesn't exist because he got a cease and desist.
Oh
no! Yeah.
Colin's now deep down very upset.
One of a kind mug.
Do you know what? I think I like Tom more now than I did when we started the stream. We got that going.
Oh dear. But with that, we are going to wrap things up. So, yeah, big.
Well, we got into it for different reasons, but
yeah, probably.
It is what it is, man.
But yeah, so thank you to Tom, thanks to Colin, and thanks to Liam. And thanks to everyone in the chat that's popped along. All the regulars, a few new faces have popped along as well. I'd see a lot more of you guys going forward. As I say, back on Wednesday, 3 o'clock, about half hour before kickoff for the 3:30 or 3 in the morning for UK time, depending on what time you're on, where you're living in the world, be different for you guys. But the streak that we get set up in the next couple of days or so, to keep an eye out for that and turn on notifications for that, guys. If you are new to the channel, do subscribe, do smash that like button, and do share the content because it does help the channel out massively. It does help us grow a lot quicker than we need, what we currently are going at. And aside from that, take care of yourselves, and as always, up the Arsenal. Come on, you guys.